here's the thing. Hey, you go out there with a bunch of donuts, right? Go out there with a bunch of donuts and be like, hey, guys, I know it's cold out. Here, have some donuts. Take a coffee break. Then you get peace and quiet for a little longer. You get peace and quiet for a little bit longer. It's fine. No, it's all right. I'm just going to go to bed a little bit earlier. Oh, that looks good. Nah, I'm all right. Anyway, let's jump over to some space news, dudes. And then we will get back to city. So EJ's Space and Rocket Review. All right. I'll throw on a video real quick here. Let's see. What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? What about this one? Yeah, this one looks good. All right. Here. This is a NASA video. I'll be back momentarily, guys. Yeah. Stretch break. Starting soon. Flip that on. Be back in a second.
January 31st, 1977, the Mojave Desert. Space Shuttle Orbiter 101 is being transported from its assembly facility in Palmdale, California, 35 miles overland to NASA's Dryden Flight Research Center at Edwards Air Force Base. This orbiter, named Enterprise, is the first of a fleet of reusable space transports. Like nothing ever before built, the shuttle orbiter is a hybrid, part spacecraft, part airplane. Upon returning from space, the orbiter, with no air-breathing engines, will be flown to a powerless landing, like a glider. Now, performance and reliability must be proven in the approach and landing tests of the orbiter Enterprise. For testing, the 75-ton spacecraft will be carried atop a 747 jumbo jet to an altitude of about 5 miles, then released by firing a set of explosive bolts. The test will be carried out in 3 stages: the captive inert phase with no orbiter crew aboard, then the captive active and the free flight stages, both with astronaut crews at the orbiter controls. Taxi runs begin the captive inert testing, in which the orbiter stays atop the carrier aircraft, and none of the orbiter's systems are turned on. The big 747 is maneuvered along the runway at speeds up to 157 miles an hour to determine steering, braking, and ground handling characteristics while carrying the orbiter. Next, a series of 6 captive inert flights is scheduled, still with the orbiter unmanned and its systems inactive. 747 Captain Fitz Fulton and co-pilot Tom McMurtry will fly the carrier aircraft as chase planes help monitor the operation. Their mission is to obtain information on performance of the mated vehicles. Crew is pleased. Handling is much closer to that of a standard 747 than expected. Subsequent captive inert flights check for stability and control problems and accomplish flutter tests. Flutter is a term for high-frequency oscillation, which can build up in aircraft parts, causing structural failure. The orbiter's position atop the carrier aircraft changes the normal airflow around the 747 tail, reducing stability and causing tail buffet. For this reason, special fins, resembling outriggers, have been added to the horizontal stabilizer to restore directional stability. A tail cone fitted to the orbiter and covering its 3 main engines allows it to be carried higher while reducing 747 tail buffeting. After separation, since the tail cone also reduces air drag on the orbiter, it will be able to descend more slowly, allowing more time for testing in flight. A tail cone will also be used to reduce tail buffet on ferry flights when the 747 transports orbiters from California to the launch facility in Florida. But for space missions, the orbiter's engines will be left exposed, and the vehicle will re-enter the atmosphere and land without a tail cone. The captive inert flights continue with technical evaluations. Emergency descent is simulated. Finally, all procedures up to the point of actual release of the orbiter are carried out. The testing goes so well that flight number 6 is not required. The captive active phase can begin with the orbiter crew aboard and the orbiter systems active. Astronaut crews have been training for the approach and landing tests. A shuttle training aircraft, or STA, is constructed by modifying a Gulfstream II airplane to handle like an orbiter. Inside, the left seat and controls are changed. Computer equipment is added. In the STA, a crew practices landings. Spacecraft Commander Fred Hayes and spacecraft pilot Gordon Fullerton. Briefings are held on orbiter systems with another crew, Spacecraft Commander Joe Engel and spacecraft pilot Dick Truly. At the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas, a computer-controlled trainer, the Orbiter Aeroflight Simulator, or OAS, is used to practice landings. Orbiter crews operate the controls, causing a special television camera to scan a scale model of the dry lake bed on which the orbiter will land at Edwards Air Force Base. The result, a realistic orbiter landing, is seen through the simulator windows.
Here coming.
The crews are well prepared. Astronauts Hayes and Fullerton will fly the first captive active test, alternating the missions with Engel and Truly. The control room at Dryden Flight Research Center manages operations before the flight and maintains contact with the carrier aircraft. It will also serve as a contingency control room in case communication should be lost with the control center in Houston. The control center is the Recovery Operations Control Room at Johnson Space Center, the same control room used for recovery operations during the Apollo program. The orbiter's fuel cells are active now, furnishing 15,000 watts of electricity for coolant systems, communication equipment, and flight control systems, including the 5 onboard computers. 4 of these computers are redundant, working together as a set, comparing information when asked to make a decision. If failures occur, normal operation can still continue with as few as 2 of them functioning. Finally, the crew can fly the orbiter using the 5th computer only if the redundant set fails. Other power is furnished by special hydraulic turbines called auxiliary power units, or APUs. They supply energy for mechanical functions, such as moving the flight control surfaces. It is during these captive active flights that problems occur with the power units. A sensor shows excessive temperature in the APU system, but a later check reveals that it was accidentally triggered by a loose wire. The wire is replaced. Another power unit problem surfaces. A seal in a bellows unit is leaking, allowing APU fuel to drain overboard. The bellows, already being redesigned, is replaced by a modified unit, and the system is safe. 3 captive active flights are made so that problems like these can be discovered and corrected. The last captive active flight includes a full rehearsal for the separation maneuver. The 747 crew pushes over and accelerates the mated pair to 310 miles an hour. They are descending at 3,000 feet per minute. The orbiter's elevons and ailerons are positioned to provide the correct angle and lift for the actual release, the next phase of the approach and landing tests. Astronauts Fred Hayes and Gordon Fullerton will man the Enterprise for its first free flight. Of the scheduled series of free flights, two are considered the most critical. This flight and a later one for which the turbulence-reducing tail cone will be removed. Free Flight 1 will test the separation, the handling qualities of the orbiter, and certain systems will be evaluated, including braking and steering during rollout. Now the 747 is near the altitude required for the pushover maneuver. The crew of the Orbiter Enterprise is completing its pre-flight checklist. Due to buffeting, the ship vibrates, causing the astronauts' voices to shake.
We're on 202.
CSS. CSS, they're steady. Surface is steady.
Okay, I'm all set to push over. Get the cameras at the wideband and then the arm at 240.
Okay, Enterprise is set. Thanks for the left bits.
905 and Enterprise, Houston is go for pushover.
905. Coming to launch heading.
Houston copies.
2, 1, pushover.
Houston copies pushover.
The carrier aircraft has pushed over and acceleration begins. The orbiter pilot will arm a series of explosive bolts, and when separation speed is reached, the commander will fire the bolts, releasing the orbiter. An orbiter pitch-up maneuver will provide vertical separation, and the 747 will turn left, while the orbiter turns right for horizontal separation. Then the crew of the Enterprise will be on their own, flying to an unpowered landing on the dry lake bed.
220, 235, 240, mark.
Arm, no lights, 2 lights. Okay, we are armed, 2 lights, and orbiters go.
250.
Houston is go for set. Have a great flight.
And we're standby for the bang, Gordo. Power. Stand by. It wasn't too bad.
Now,
At separation, computer number 2 stops processing data. The other general processing computers, or GPCs, in the redundant system voted off the line. The crew informs the control center, executes the planned computer malfunction procedures, and Free Flight 1 continues.
okay, pitch up.
We're up. Got a
Okay, we
mass
got
alarm.
a computer light, it's number 2.
Okay, we got a GPC light, loss of sync on 2, pushing over.
And a big X on computer number 2.
Roger, we understand.
Roger. Okay, I use here.
Okay, she's flying good. 250, starting flare.
Okay, your AA breakers are coming out. And we're going to get a message.
Yeah, that's a definite lurch.
Sideways lurch, just like they said. Okay,
Okay, 11 Alpha, pushing over.
Okay, I got you 195 and 20,000.
You got it, Gordo.
I got the airplane.
Okay, straight.
Okay.
Enterprise, you're cleared to start to turn.
Okay, Gordo's in the turn. It is really tight, Bo. In fact, I think it's a little better than the old STA feels.
Yeah, the lurch is there, just like everybody said. Okay. Altitude's on, and I'm about 14 lower than you are in speed and right on altitude.
The orbiter is not controlled like a standard airplane. The onboard computer system, using information provided by flight sensing devices, makes constant adjustments to the control surfaces so that a stable attitude is maintained. When the pilot moves the control stick, the signal goes first to the computer system. The computers instantly adjust the control surfaces so that while the pilot's command is obeyed, stable flight is maintained. If the weather is bad and visibility poor, the orbiter can be flown in an auto-land mode. In auto-land, the orbiter is brought to a landing by the computer, which determines its location, direction, and speed through its inertial guidance system, its microwave landing system, and other data sources.
Got a steady auto land, 900. Armed,
Okay, we're armed and flaring.
standing by the gear.
200 feet, 290.
Okay, the gear is coming down at 270. Coming down.
Mark.
Gear coming.
Doors open and they're all down. Some are down. What's down here? 50
Okay,
feet.
3 downs. Gear's down.
40
240. 230.
20.
220, lots of speed.
10.
Beautiful.
Holding 10.
210.
220 at about 5 feet.
210.
4 feet. Getting some dust.
200.
3 feet. 2 feet.
195.
Just over that, about 2 feet.
185.
You're on.
Okay, speed brakes. Speed brakes are coming.
About 10 feet.
Speed brakes are halfway out.
Drop. We'll see you, babe.
Okay, got 130 knots.
Okay, that's great.
120.
Rudder.
115. Okay, 80. Okay, 60 knots. Try the nose wheel.
Okay. Yeah, it was too good a glider.
Free flight time, 5 minutes and 22 seconds. Roll out with moderate braking, a little over 2 miles.
It's a lot better than the OAS. Look at that.
Free flights 2 and 3 have furnished additional engineering data. Required adjustments have been made to Orbiter 101 systems. Now, astronauts Joe Engel and Dick Truly will make free flight number 4, the first flight with the tail cone off. When an orbiter returns from space, it will not carry a tail cone. This will cause increased turbulence behind the craft and will create more air drag. During this critical flight with the tail cone off, the tail section of the 747 will receive even greater punishment from the turbulence. But if all goes well, the 150,000-pound Enterprise will be released and will descend 20,000 feet in 2.5 minutes. First, the mated vehicles are checked in flight with the orbiter's tail cone off. A data run is made to monitor performance at separation speed. Then the 747 begins its climb for pushover and actual separation.
Smoothly. Enterprise has 2 lights. We're go for SEP.
Roger, Enterprise. Houston is go for SEP. Go for SEP.
Okay, Dick, let's do it pretty.
210 knots. 220 knots. 230 knots. Stand by for launch ready, Joe.
Okay. SEP. Okay. Coming up.
Body flap set.
Good. Okay, pushing over.
Okay. Okay, Joe, we're configured. Beautiful. 180 knots.
Free flight 4 is going well.
Got it.
Instrumentation and power systems are performing normally.
Alpha set it.
Carrier aircraft buffeting was within the established limits before separation. And during free flight, the orbiter's handling qualities are not noticeably different than they were with the tail cone on.
Stand by.
285 knots. You're looking good. 290 knots. 4,000 feet. 3,000 feet. 290. You're a little fast, Joe.
Leave them out.
Pre-flare.
You're on the glide slope. We see you on the glide slope.
Want the speed brakes coming in.
Negative. Leave them. Okay, now start them in.
Okay, they're coming in. Speed brakes closing.
Orbiter gear.
Okay.
Get the gear.
Gears coming. Okay, 200 feet, Joe, 260 knots.
Down.
Good. 250 knots. 240 knots. 230 knots.
10 feet.
220 knots.
5 feet.
210 knots. 200 knots. 190 knots.
Down.
Speed brakes are tracking.
Nose is coming down. 2 feet. 1 foot. Down.
Brakes.
Back up. Nose wheel steering on. Off. Differential braking. Gear brakes, Dick.
Okay, I've got the brakes.
Push them hard.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let me get a little slower here, Joe. Okay, I'm coming off the brakes.
Okay.
I'm on the right brake.
Okay, I'm coming in slow. Come on, brake. I'm holding what I got.
Okay. Okay, Houston, we're stopped. Mark.
Roger, got it.
Look good
Thank you,
for
Bob.
here.
Thank you, Richard. That was a super one.
Free flight time, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Roll out with hard braking, 5,275 feet. The orbiter flies well with the tail cone off. On this flight, free flight 5, the orbiter will land on a paved runway. The performance of the landing gear and its connected airframe systems must be verified on this type of surface. Also, the orbiter's approach, landing, and rollout will be tested on the paved strip with a simulated 10,000-foot length. The Kennedy Space Center runway, where the orbiter will normally land as it returns from space, is 15,000 feet, and the additional 5,000 feet will mean a greater margin of safety. Free Flight 5 goes well until just before touchdown. Then a pilot-induced movement takes the vehicle close to the ground. It rises. At 187 knots, it touches down, but skips off the ground and settles 1,900 feet later to a second touchdown. The total runway rollout distance from the first touchdown point is 7,930 feet, well under the 10,000-foot mark. With Free Flight 5, the approach and landing tests are concluded. All of the assigned program requirements have been satisfactorily completed. Now Orbiter 101 will go to Marshall Space Flight Center in Alabama for a series of ground vibration tests. In 1979, the 747 will carry Orbiter 102, sister ship of the Enterprise, to Kennedy Space Center in Florida, where it will be the first vehicle to be used in the orbital flight tests. Each shuttle orbiter is designed to be used at least 100 times. The Space Shuttle fleet will handle a variety of missions: placing, servicing, or recovering satellites in orbit, delivering deep space probes for on-orbit launch, carrying space laboratories. NASA's Space Transportation System will replace nearly all expendable launch vehicles for both civilian and military space missions. With the shuttle orbiters, we're entering a new era in space.
You see the induced landing? Cool, huh? Well, back then, there's no computer simulations. They had to figure it out, what pilot-induced oscillation is going to do to the thing. You see that thing slam its gear down? Mukbang channel. I'm almost done with my rice. Almost done. Hey, Isaac. That's why they call them test flights. You're not going to know the limits of the vehicle until you test it, baby. So some of those guys in that video I've talked to before. I had the privilege of interviewing Fred Hayes about this exact landing, about that one. There he is. I think that's Gordon Fullerton and Fred Hayes, I think. Yeah, I talked to him about this flight, which was really cool. Those are in my archive somewhere. I gotta find them. Just rice. It's rice, carrots, broccoli, and some grilled chicken, Element. As much as I hate eating vegetables, and I mean, truth is I really don't. I just say that as a meme. Eating vegetables like rice, carrots, and broccoli with some chicken, it fills you up. That's why I like it. How did he describe it? Well, during the approach and landing test, the shuttle basically stalls. The 747 basically stalls underneath the shuttle. Seriously. So what happens is they basically put the 747 into an induced stall. The only thing that's keeping it up, the only thing that's keeping the 747 flying is the fact that it has a huge airfoil on the top, right? So basically when they let the shuttle go, the shuttle doesn't go up, right? Because it's a glider. Of course it's not going to go up. You can't go up with it. If you went up, the airspeed would go to nothing and it would fly backwards. So how do you get the shuttle off without hitting the tail? Well, the solution is to get into a dive and then basically stall the 747 underneath the shuttle, and then right when the 747 hits stall point, you let it go, and whoop, the 747 falls until it gains airspeed and keeps going, and the shuttle just lets go, and it just keeps flying in the same direction. It's really, really interesting stuff. Because I was thinking about it. Like, how do you release this thing? What are you going to pull up with the shuttle? How are you going to pull up with the shuttle? It's a glider. The second you pull up, you're going to lose airspeed and hit the tail. Oh, nice, Buck. Sweet. See, you can't... the second you pull up is the second this thing goes backwards and hits the tail. You don't want to do that. We got to stall the 747, which is cool. See, look at this picture. The shuttle isn't so much going up. The 747's going down. Look at the horizon. The 747's like nose down. It's flying like this. See that? And when you look at this picture, it looks like the shuttle's pulling off the back, but that's not what happens. Now that if you look at this stuff, the 747's falling. It's falling away from the shuttle. Watch. Look at that 747 is stalled. You know, because it rolls to the left. It like does this. It goes falls right out of the sky until it gains enough airspeed. I mean, watch that footage one more time. Look at how quick this thing moves away from the shuttle. That's not something small. It's a 747. Isn't that cool? Yeah, that's what Fred Hayes told me. It's so freaking cool. Oh, there's the SDA. They use this. This is a modified Gulfstream, right? Called the Shuttle Trainer Aircraft, or STA for short. On the left part of the flight deck is just a regular Gulfstream. Or no, on the left part of the flight deck is the shuttle. And then on the right part of the flight deck is a regular Gulfstream. Seriously, they took this thing and they hot rodded it and they gave it a shuttle's flight deck. Here, I'll show you. SDA cockpit. Left half is shuttle, right half is Gulfstream. Pretty cool, huh? What's their altitude? Well, 2 minutes, 2 minute 30 seconds, so it was probably 20,000 feet if I had to guess. The shuttle falls fast, man, real quick. Yeah, that's all right. Isn't that cool? Literally from here over, it's a space shuttle, and then from here over, it's a Gulfstream. It's half shuttle, half Gulfstream. So that plane right there, this is what they use to train, because you obviously can't just do approach and landing tests. I mean, I personally think that would be a really good idea. That would have been a cool thing to do for the shuttle program. Have it just use Enterprise as a training article, and then jettison it off the back of the shuttle. But clearly, this was a cheaper way to do it. So what NASA did was they hot rodded this Gulfstream, right? And they used it to practice landing. It's funny. To get this thing to mimic how the shuttle flies, the shuttle flies so badly. To get this thing to fly like the space shuttle, what they would have to do when they went in to land it was deploy the gear. You saw that. And deploy the flaps and put the thrust reversers on. In flight. Thrust reversers on in flight. Any pilots want to tell me how crazy that actually is? Yep, that's what they did. That's what they did to get the thing to land correctly, to get that Gulfstream to land like the space shuttle. That's how badly the shuttle flies. That's how much drag the thing actually makes. Yeah, it's a money shift, right? Mm-hmm. Pretty crazy, huh? That's the FADEC for the... Well, not the FADEC. That's the FMS for the shuttle. The flaps were deployed up, not down, up. Yeah, crazy, right? Okay, Maka. Guys, let me just finish up. I don't have much left. Don't have much rice left. Let me just finish this up. I don't want to keep chewing on the microphone. So, give me 3 minutes and 45 seconds and enjoy this classic finished ballad. I'll be back in a second. Get the links ready for Space News. What do you guys want to talk about? There's a lot. Okie dokie. Alright. Oh, really? I didn't know they made a song like this. Dude, that's Topless Gun on vocals. I'm serious. No. That's the guy singing that song is the guy that made Summer Car. And he put that song in the game, which is cool. Which technically means it's in-game music, which is even cooler, which means we can listen to it. Any news on Astra? Can't find the launch. Astra? Yeah. Astra static fired their rocket at LC-46 the other day. And They are waiting on FAA approval, if I'm remembering correct, to do a test launch, to do the VCLS test launch out of Complex 46 at the Cape. That's what's going on. That's the last I heard from Chris Kemp. I mean, I'm just following his Twitter account, so. Let me get all of the links here. Dude, there's a lot of good stuff. A lot of good space news. I probably should have done space news yesterday, but also, okay. Okay, so Cities Memes will start space news here. Orbital Mechanics of how the second stage got to the moon. Okay. Yeah, I have that. Mm-hmm. Okay, here. Вася. Что это такое? Dude, circular airports are a good idea, but literally every pilot I've talked to says they will never land on a circular runway. Were you born in Boston? Yep. That's all I've ever lived, dude. I've lived in Boston 31 out of my 33. The other 2 were in Florida. The terminal is dope. No, yeah, the terminal looks great. Comment says it's functional pre and post DLC. Cool. What about the big scary Elon Musk SpaceX thing that's gonna blow up on the moon? Have you seen Dylan Taylor's NS-19 cabin video? I haven't, no way, but we saw Cameron's. Meeps. Fellow Twitch streaming buddy of mine, Meeps linked his personal footage the other day. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Why don't you talk with a thick Boston accent? Because don't you think it would be slightly distracting if I talked to you like this the entire time? It's a little John if you're not used to it. Because he's not from Southie. No, I prefer speaking with a neutral accent on stream. It's easier to convey the information, and chat gets less distracted. Alright, anyway. Face says it all, kid. Come on, killer. I gotta make sure that I hide it, dude. I don't want to show everybody my power level, you know what I mean? Say Lordy Mother for me, okay? See what I mean? See how distracting that is? Okay. So, we will start off Space News with a nice deep fried meme. Oh, God. Pudding out of 10. Okay, and we will start with another meme. It's always fun when tabloids cover space. I agree. Oh, boy. We'll talk more about that later. Okay, so here, let's flip into a little bit of SLS news. First bit of news is this. NASA tweeted this out today. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that. Can you not be near the rocket, dude? No offense. Can you not be near that thing, please? Please promptly get the frick away from that rocket, please. Please get away from it. Don't go near it. Don't touch it. Don't even look at it. It'll explode. Who's that? That's Michael Bay, guys. Michael Bay is a Hollywood action movie director. Usually everything in his movies explodes. Yeah. He directed The Rock. Excellent movie. Bad Boys 1 and 2. Also really good movies. And keep in mind, these are action flicks, so if you're looking for an Oscar performance, it's frigging Bad Boys. Who cares? It's an awesome movie. Transformers. He did Transformers. That's right. Armageddon. We don't talk about that one. We don't talk about that. So, yeah. Don't go near it. Don't even look at it, Mike. What are you doing? You're gonna make it blow up. Get away from it, man. How have I never seen what Michael Bay looks like after 20 years of living? Great, now he'll be No, Mike, see, the reason why he's looking away is because if he looks at it, it's going to blow up. Don't go near it. Don't even look at it. Dan Marino should definitely buy this car. Not this one, though. I'm going to mess this one up. So, that's kind of cool. Film director Michael Bay visited the VA. Michael High Bay, as chat said. Number one job requirement to act in a Michael Bay movie. How fast can you run? Hey, who is that? Who in my house? It's the devil. Who do you think? The devil is not welcome here. Sorry. Anyway, what Scott Manley has on YouTube today, there's something I wonder about that. He does not mention anything about which is... What Scott Manley has on YouTube today, there's something I wonder about that he does not mention anything about, which is finally to 1521 in the videos, he says nothing to because there's something floating away from the ISS, a loose object. Maybe you know something about it. There's debris everywhere, Billy Cat. I don't know what you're referring to off the top of my head. It's probably just solid nitrogen, solid oxygen, probably something. Space is a dirty place, guys. It's not empty. It's not empty. It's just less empty than what we're used to. There's all kinds of crap up there, dude. Rocks, ice, debris, gloves, wrenches. So it could be anything, dude. When do you expect the Starship launch? It's not going to be till March. Yeah, well, gas up there. Well, gas would turn into a solid, right? Chocolate. NASA tech is being used to save lives. NASA emergency beacon saved 330 lives in 2021. Cool. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that NASA invents that's just background infrastructure that you might not think of that affects your everyday life. One of them being the digital processor. Yeah, that probably has a lot to do with it. April, you mean, boss? 20th, right? No. The programmatic environmental assessment should conclude on the 28th after a period extension at the end of the year to review the 18,000 comments that people left on the environmental impact programmatic environmental assessment, which is an environmental impact report done by the FAA about conducting spaceflight operations at Boca Chica down in Texas. So that concludes on the 28th of February. So I'm expecting SpaceX Tesla to be scaling to that. Yeah, they're probably getting ready for launch sometime in March. That's my guess. Simultaneously, SLS is targeting the end of March right now, and we have rollout in 2 weeks. And yeah, you guys want me to go down there, so I might do that soon. I just saw it. It's like a giant piece of metal that just floats away. Yeah. It's a metal piece? Dudes, it could be a wrench or something, dudes. I don't want to go and look, guys. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to go and look because I know where this conversation goes. It's probably most likely a wrench or a bolt or a nut or something, and You know exactly where this conversation is going, but I don't... Waste of time. It's nothing. It's honestly nothing. Space is a dirty place. There's all kinds of crap up there. You know? It was a Twinkie? Tell them about the Twinkie. I don't know, S. Maybe. PM the photo of the object on Discord. It's just a cover. It's a cover to something. Anton and Peter probably discarded. That's the other thing people got to remember. Guys, sometimes if there's a cover for something that's not needed anymore, they literally toss it overboard. They throw it overboard. Why? Well, ISS is in a decaying orbit. What keeps the ISS up there is the thrusters on the Zvezda module on the very back of the station. That's what keeps it going.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
If the ISS thrusters stop working, it would just deorbit. It would fall back down. So anything that they can toss overboard, it will decay and it'll go away. So sometimes that's what they do. Sky Seas, 36-month resub. Piece of King with a 20. Thank you very much. Here's the tweets from yesterday. Thank you. I have the USA one up. And then the heat shield from Orion. Thank you. That was actually my next thing that I was going to share. But yeah. Guys, it's probably just a discarded cover. It happens all the time. I mean, Jackie, you just let it go. You just throw it off the side. Anyway, so check this out. NASA SLS tweeted this yesterday, or 2 days ago now. Take a look. For missions beyond Artemis 3, SLS's Universal Stage Adapter will connect to the Exploration Upper Stage. The USA will connect the Exploration Upper Stage to the Orion and act as a payload storage compartment accommodating large payloads such as logistics modules. Check that out. Universal Stage Adapter, baby. That's the SLS Block 1B Orion Staging Adapter fairing. This is for the big version of SLS that has the better upper stage. So, see, Universal Stage Adapter right there. Instead of this dinky thing, you get this. That means the Exploration Upper Stage is somewhere along in development. Universal Staging Adapter there. And there's some test article pieces from what I can tell, which is amazing. There you go. So much space for activities. Yep. Now, Novus, this looks like a... These are test articles. Pretty sure. I mean, obviously they're test articles. It's not like this is flight hardware. If it is, though, that would be really cool. But I don't think it is. Oh, man, that's legit. That's so cool. I'm almost certain it's a structural testing article. I was going to say, look at the low fidelity of these plates right here. This is just for structure and stuff, man. No, it's very big, guys. Look at the trash can. See the trash cans? Everybody knows how big one of those et tu brute trash cans are, right? Those things are, I mean, about a meter tall, maybe, probably a little bit more. Look at them next to the fairings. This thing is huge, dude. What would happen if Starship could use the RS-25? I don't know. They should put something like, oh, I don't know, a lander in there? Parts of one at least, dead crew. I agree. Or that normal-sized American flag. Yeah, that American flag's like 3 stories tall, dude. Look at the door. See the door right there? This thing is freaking huge, man. That's awesome. Here, let's see. Let's see if we got more pictures. SLS prepared for crewed Artemis missions. We've read this already. Yeah, we've read this piece. Wait, why is that trash can Roman? Any questions? Et tu brute. That's one of these things. Those are not small. Those are industrial trash cans. Those things aren't very small. That second one is sus.
Number 15, Burger King. What lettuce? The last thing you'd want in your Burger King burger is number 15, Burger King. What lettuce? The last thing you'd want in your Burger King burger is.
So once again, this is a structural testing article for the Universal Stage Adapter, which is the cargo compartment for carrying lander components or gateway components for Orion. It's actually, that's pretty awesome. I mean, we haven't had much word on the exploration upper stage just yet, but we're getting to it. We getting to it. Oh man, that's gonna be money. So the Universal Stage Adapter is designed to adapt SLS's bigger upper stage, the exploration upper stage, to the Orion Staging Adapter, or the OSA for short. Now, OSAs are already flying on SLS Block 1. See, the Orion Stage Adapter is right there with the checkers on it. See? They'll put that on top of the Universal Stage Adapter, from what I understand. Or the Universal Stage Adapter could adapt right to the... It could adapt right to the European Service Module interstage, which is right there. It might adapt exactly to it. This rendering doesn't have an OSA on it. So the Universal Stage Adapter might already have those parts built in, which is actually pretty cool. Burger King, I just wanted a goddamn hot dog. Hot dog. Hot dog. Is the Universal Stage Adapter built by United Space Alliance? United Space Alliance doesn't exist anymore. She don't exist. That adapter, I believe, is made by RUAG. Swiss fairings. Same people that make Vulcan and New Glenn's fairings, if I'm understanding correctly. So here, I want to show you this. This is what the Universal Stage Adapter could do. See what I'm talking about here? There's the OSA. The OSA is inside of it. Europa Science Mission. God damn it. Yep. See what I'm talking about here? Put an ICBS above the EUS and launch Orion to Saturn. RUG is the subcontractor for it, but Dynetics puts it together. Thank you. Cool. So, see this one here? You can carry stuff in the lower parts of this. So you can carry gateway components, you can carry lander parts, you can carry whatever. Personally, I like the 8 meter and the 10 meter fairing. SLS should have been planned basically from the start, but there's a lot of things that should have been planned from the start with that program, but that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Hey, we're making progress. It's better than nothing. Better than nothing. I'll take this. This is fine. Yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm. They are a Leidos company, Tape. How'd you know that? Good pro tip of information right there. Yeah, Juice Spot, we all are, right? Gateway is just a space station around the moon, yeah? I mean, if you want to reduce it to its base element, Sky Seas, yeah. But it's a deep space habitation. It's a deep space habitation outpost that just also can access pretty much anywhere on the moon in the type of orbit that it's going into. Meaning that Gateway in that rectilinear halo orbit around the moon is a place where we can practice deep space living. So the ISS is inside of Earth's magnetic fields. Gateway is outside of magnetic fields, outside of the magnetic field. So that's deep space. That's where it really gets a little bit hairy for the with the radiation and stuff. Meaning that you'll grow like a third arm and it'll have hair on it. No, it's not that type of radiation. It's a good place to practice long duration stays, similar to the transit times that we would find on Mars. Yeah. How bad do you need to be at living to need practice? It's an NRHO orbit. How about SLS Block 1B with an ICPS on top with a Castor 30XL on top to get a Voyager-like probe but heavier out of the solar system in 15 years? I mean, I don't hate this. What is the shield that they use for radiation protection? Aluminum works pretty dang well. Cooking, yeah. Aluminum works. If we could ever figure out a way to generate enough power, magnetic field could work. It works pretty well for Earth. What's with the super long payload adapter? That's not a payload. All right, hold on. It's not a super long payload adapter. It's a long interstage fairing because of how the exploration upper stage is made. So like with this configuration of the rocket, you have the conic adapter to the extended Delta IV stage called the ICPS. And then you have Orion on top of that. You have a cone adapter, right? This is the LOX tank. That's the forward skirt. That's the top of the core stage right there. Now, with the other variant, with the Block 1B variant, the one that we want, you have a different type of upper stage. You have an upper stage called the EUS, the Exploration Upper Stage. The EUS maintains the core stage's diameter, so it's an 8.4 meter stage. But the hydrogen tank is the only part that's 8.4 meters. The oxygen tank, for mass savings, is hanging off of the hydrogen tank. This is an idea that was borrowed from Delta IV. And then the engines are hanging from the LOX tank. You know how hanging stages is good for. You want to hang the stages. If you can hang the stages, because the oxygen tank isn't structural anymore, all it is just hanging, right? And all you need to do is rate it for basically the thrust of the engines, and that's about it. Because it's hanging. You don't need to make it as thick. It doesn't need to be as big. You could save a lot of mass doing that. That's what Delta IV has been doing this for years. So the EUS is a much, much bigger Delta IV upper stage that SLS is designed for. And because that oxygen tank is hanging inside, you need a gigantic cylindric interstage adapter. I'm trying to find like a good picture of it. Somebody will link it by the time I find it. There you go. This will work. See? That's why it appears to have such a long interstage adapter, because, well, the oxygen tank is hanging. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Starship and the N1 the only rockets that try and use full stage combustion? Yeah, you're 100% wrong. No. The N1 used an oxygen-rich stage combustion cycle in the NK-33s and the NK-15s. Hot take, Conver made some of the coolest aerospace stuff ever. Not really a hot take. It's pretty accurate. If SLS uses RS-68s, you might as well just call it Delta V. Well, it's funny because the Delta IV series of rockets uses a lot of shuttle-derived technologies, Pixig. So I think SLS should be called Delta V, just so we can keep the Delta family of rockets going, but that's just me. So that's why it has such a long cylindric inner stage. Because it's designed to, it hangs the LOX tank. Like I said, Delta IV has been doing this forever. Since the late 90s. It's a good idea. Save a lot of mass that way. You save a lot of mass on your upper stage, which is very important. Your mass fraction on your upper stage is very, very important. Especially, so like this is very, very true for parts that are flying around in space. So what does that mean in plain English? Once you're up in space, I mean, this is true for rockets that are taking off as well. Once you're up in space, the less rocket you have on your rocket and the more fuel you have on your rocket, the further you go, right? Mass fraction, your ratio of rocket to fuel, right? The higher the mass fraction, so 98, 99%, you're going to get way more delta V that way. Why? Because you have less rocket to move and more fuel to move it. So this takes the mass that would normally be in the second stage and basically offloads it to the core stage, giving you a gigantic delta V boost because, well, this thing doesn't need help getting up there. You have plenty of TWR from the SRBs, and then you've got shuttle motors at the bottom. So, yeah, efficiency be damned. Does SLS have a door on the launch escape system for the astronauts to get into the capsule? What do you think? Yeah, of course it does. How else would they get in? What do you think? They're going to encapsulate out on the pad? No, yeah, of course it does. Does SLS need help getting it up? Yeah, it does. That's why your mom should fly it. Next bit of news. So, the heat shield for the next Orion capsule is being worked on. This is the Artemis 2 heat shield. Will protect Orion from nearly 5,000 Fahrenheit, which I think is, what is that, 3,600 C? When it returns to Earth after its first test flight with crews making progress in the Operations and Checkout building. There's the heat shield for the second Orion capsule. $27. Thank you, Floating. Yeah. Also, let's just wait. Hang on. Let's just look around this picture here. 2,700. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Sorry. The zigged one I should have zagged. I know what those are. Who really knows their stuff? What are these? Let's just take the L. All right. Rocket parts? Nope. Incorrect. Hatches? Nope. Orion heat shields? Nope. It's a unit system. Maybe. Stuff. How'd you know? Orion pressure vessel parts? Nope. Shuttle tiles? Nope. Thermal blankets? Nope. That's the cover. It's the cover that you put on the capsule when you're working on it. It's a FOD protection cover. You know why? Look at what's holding them together. I highly doubt that seat belts would be on the outside of the capsule holding things together. This is just a foam mat that you can put on the side of Orion so it doesn't get broken. See what I mean? See the seat belts? Yeah, they put that for when they put that on there for when they're working on Orion so they don't drop stuff onto it or knee the capsule or something. I mean, that would probably hurt you more than anything, but either way. So it's like a phone case. Sure. Yeah, we'll go with that. Anyway. What else do we got? How about... Actually, you know what? I'll save that for later. And then, here we go. Boom Supersonic. So this is more aerospace news. Boom Supersonic announced that they're building the supersonic future in North Carolina. Let's see what we got. Boom Supersonic selects Greensboro, North Carolina for the first supersonic airliner manufacturing facility. Anyway. Overture Superfactory in Piedmont Triad area to break ground in 2022 and begin production in 2024. Oh boy. New Concorde, pretty much. For their first. Artemis 3 capsule structure is mostly done. Oh, very nice. Very nice there, bud. No, it's going to break sound, Exomars. It's going to break sound. It's a supersonic airliner. What are you, crazy? I've never been to Greensboro. Let's see. Where do you think they'll make this thing? Here, let's see if we can see some like area that's been cleared out. There's a lot of hangars and stuff. I wonder what this, like, wait a minute. Hang on, I gotta read a second. Were planes built here? It's a corporate jet. There's also this news, which is not very interesting. 12 companies to provide venture class launch services. Oh, sweet. Is that a private aircraft manufacturer? Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out, dudes. Hey, nice. MD-88, cool. A significant investment is being made into the interstate highway network adjacent to the airport. That sounds familiar. It's a FedEx hub, yeah. I was gonna say, there's a lot of infrastructure out here. Oh yeah, big FedEx distribution center right there. What the hell? They make Honda jets here or something? All right. So there's that. Oh, they're building something there. What is this? Let's see if we can see the names on the buildings. Bro, they do. Holy crap. That's what I was looking at. I'm like, why is there so much, these look like airplane plants. They freaking do. Look at all the Honda jets. That's wicked, man. Yeah. That's their HQ. Haha. That's cool, man. I was going to say, what else we got over here? Any logos that we can see? Nope. Nope. Let's see what else. What about you? Bro. Oh, hello, KC-10. Look, the photogrammetry picked up that they had the radome open. All right. Yeah, so there's that. That's crazy, man. HACO. That's got to be fixed base operations. Whoa, hey, there's another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. I'm not just gonna bury my head in the sand like this. Hey Mav, what's going on? I'm just looking around this base. Boom Supersonic selected this base selected this Greensboro, North Carolina to be their base of operations. And I was wondering, like, we looked at the airport and, you know, it's got a commercial area, right? Like, but I'm looking at all these other things, Mav, and check this out. I looked at this facility. There might be a name on it that you recognize. Have you seen the old MiG that's parked at Beverly Airport? Beverly? No. Nanda? They make Honda jets here. Huh. Well, that's pretty neat. On the topic of planes, dude made a fanless jet engine with his Dyson fan. Oh, cool. Neat. GP2 jet, GP2. Ah! So, yeah, they selected this area, and I'm trying to see if there's any vacant kind of facilities around here. It looks like this area might be, well, no, these are detention ponds. Discharge from the airport for drainage. I'm looking to see if there's any place that's under construction around here. I'm trying to figure out where they're going to make it. Oh, there we go. Nope, no, that's just another discharge pond. No, not much else. Oh, wait, what do we got here? Wait, what the hell is this? That's a very strange bridge to have right there. Next to the FedEx building is construction. Yeah. Why would they build that there? Set of images for the Artemis 3 Orion. Looks like a runway bridge. Hey, Sim, what's going on? Yeah. Yeah, look at that. That's a very peculiar bridge. That looks like a runway bridge. We just were looking at those a second ago. Huh. Anyway. I'm going to have to look more into that. Yeah, guys, look. The old highway went right here. Old highway went right here, and then they made it go in this direction here. I think, if I'm looking at that right. They probably did that so they could expand the airport, if I'm guessing. That's how it looked in '93. Jeez. You guys know my buddy Simcopter. If you don't, good streamer. Excellent chill streamer. Sim, how you doing, buddy? Mods, can we get a plug for Sim in the chat? Sim's a good buddy of mine. I like watching your stream, dude. Your stream's fun to watch. Very chill. Thanks, I'm doing okay. How are you? You know, I can't complain. So, yeah, see? There you go. Cities in real life. Yeah, they rerouted the highway to build that FedEx facility right there. So we're looking at this airport in Greensboro, Sim, and what we're... Oh, there was not always a runway right there. That's fine. And we noticed that there's this weird kind of covered bridge right here. The reason is because that looks like in case they want to expand the airport and put like another runway over here or something, they have a way to do it. It's very interesting. See, they built this highway over here, and they got rid of that highway because it was too close to the airport, because the airport was expanding, which is insane. Not insane, that's really cool. But the reason why we were looking at this airport in the first place, guys, is because Boom Supersonic, which is a company that's trying to make low-cost supersonic transports. So we're talking about passenger liners, passenger planes that go faster than the speed of sound. That's been done before. The French and the Brits did it back in the 60s, and they made the Concorde. Now, the Concorde is an amazing plane. It's one of the coolest planes ever devised, by a long shot. The problem is that this uses a lot of military equipment on it. It uses, Olympus 593 engines from an Avro Vulcan with a Snecma afterburner on it from France. So it was a French afterburner from, I forget, it might have been custom made. But it's like a combination of two pieces of military tech put in together, and then on top of that, it uses a lot of military-derived technology. And that's usually okay, but that made Concorde very expensive. What Boom Supersonic is trying to do is make one of these things with engines and power plants that are more readily available. They're retrofitting J85 engines, which is one of the most widely produced turbojets around. They're retrofitting J85 engines with afterburners to make supersonic transport. Now, keep in mind, this isn't quiet supersonic transport by any means, but it's low cost. That's different than what like NASA is trying to do with the X-59, which is quiet supersonics. Snecma. Snecma is a French company. Seems like a lot of Midwestern states are gearing up for 50 plus years of logistics growth. They're positioned well and pushing for it. Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, you look at some of these airports. You could tell that this place is. You could tell that it's expanding. They built a new runway. I mean, those ain't cheap. Anybody that owns a house knows that, getting the look at how much it takes to redo the damn driveway. Can you imagine building a mile-long runway? That's probably expensive. I'm just putting it out. It's probably expensive, man. Respect. That's cool. Yeah, no, I like seeing this because I like seeing cities in real life. We were playing cities before, and we're going to play cities after Space News. But I had to reroute a couple of highways, and you could see the old grade for the old highway there, which is actually really cool to me. But they couldn't get rid of all the highway because then this industrial site right here, you wouldn't have had a road going to it. So they didn't get rid of it totally. And then they just built another on-ramp down here, which is cool. And then oh. All right, there's the grading. Okay, grading. There's a discharge. Oh, no, that's a stream that goes through there. I was going to say it's discharge, but it's not. Look at this. What are they up to here? Oh, it leads to nothing. Let's see if we can see what it's trying to connect to. I see where it's trying to connect to, right here. It looks like it already might be connected to it. Google Earth, are you drunk? Oh, yes? Yeah, I bet. So they may be planning an off-airport aircraft facility to allow taxiing. Gil, that's my guess. That Google Earth image ain't right. Whoa. Yep, there you go. Well, it looks like they got that grading finished. Does that highway go in a circle? No, it's to alleviate traffic off of this. Oh, man. The property value is going to go through the roof right here. Oh, I'll tell you what, boy, that dang old property value is going to go up now that they built out all that infrastructure. I tell you what. No, that's cool, man. I like seeing this. This is really neat. Yep. Road engineering is very nice. Reminds me of 57 in Mass. Just ends in a farm. Yeah, a lot of roads around here do that, man. Looks like a Boston highway. Half turbine, half cloverleaf. Why is that half turbine, half cloverleaf? Look at that. My guess is because this road wasn't always here. This used to probably be 3 highways coming together instead of a like a cross. Nope, they straight up built it like that. Okay. Oh, there was nothing there a little while ago. Damn, dude. All right. Half cloverleaf, half turbine. Cool. I don't know why you'd do that, but hey. Oh, they built half of it first, guys. Look, that ramp is operational. So is that. So are these. They built half of it first, and then it's built around planned expansion. That's really smart. Cool. All right. We'll get more of that when we play cities later, but that's cool. That's cool that they're working on this stuff. Also, J85s. So if you don't know anything about J85 engines, they are the LS motor of jet engines. And if you don't know about that, that means a lot of them were made and they're very relatively inexpensive for a jet power plant. It's a 7-stage axial compressor with 2 turbines. And I believe this is just a turbojet. It is not a bypass turbojet. This is no bypass. This is a straight turbojet. The original designer quit halfway through. Oh, the cyberpunk of intersection. No, that's not it. But cyberpunk is different. Different scenario, but you get the idea. Yep, so if you're wondering how this stuff works, it's very simple. Air gets sucked in here from these fans. The fans pull them in, right? And as it gets pulled in, you get a bigger fan feeding into a smaller fan, feeding into a smaller fan, feeding into a smaller fan, smaller fan, smaller fan, smaller fan, right? And then if you look at the intake, it's a funnel. So you get air getting sucked in that gets compressed. And then from there, that air finds its way into this thing right here, which is a toroidal shape. It's kind of a donut shape. That's called a combustor. A combustor basically has a fuel injector in it, and that's it. And it has a spark plug for when you turn the engine on, but it basically works just like a grill. Like you have a sparker for the grill. That's how a jet engine works, very similar. And it just keeps sucking air in, and the air hits the fuel combustor spray, and it explodes, and then you get very crazy thermal expansion from the exploder or combusting gases, and they get shot out the back, and these wheels scoop up the explosion, and then turn the axle, which turns the front blade. Very very standard turbojet. Combustor, I hardly knew her. I've seen that engine. Nice. The blue area we saw at Boston, clearway, not for landing or taxiing on. Thank you, Plums. The next Cygnus will be named after Pure Sellers. Cool. Yep, there you go. It's very simple. One moving part. The shaft, and that's it. Actually, it has an oil pump, too. Gotta have that lubrication. Ah, damn it. Anyway. So, Boom is looking to manufacture planes, and they'll get the first prototypes out the door in 2024. Pretty awesome, actually. Can we put one on the truck? The chief engineer at Boom worked for Scaled Composites and SpaceX. That's pretty cool. Put one on an El Camino. I think some guy tried to do that at one point. Would you fly an ultralight? No, not enough horsepower for me. Now, a gas turbine, Lycoming T53 under the hood? Now we're talking. That's not a turbojet, though. A Lycoming T53 is a turbo shaft. Turbo shaft is exactly what I just told you, but behind the turbine blades that spin the compressor blades, there's another turbine wheel. And the thrust from the jet engine is used to spin that extra turbine wheel, which spins an axle instead. That would be much more better for truck English do good. Look, I understand the engineering, okay? You want somebody that speaks good English, find a languager. All right, let's go see what's going on over in Russia. We got 2 videos coming from Roscosmos here. Doesn't spark joy in my heart, Tessa. I'll show you the turbo shaft. Okay, so Sporkaba Rakety Soyuz 2-1. Here's Zanishka Progress MS-19. Okay, so this is the integration footage of a Soyuz 2-1 rocket for the Progress MS-19 mission. Hello. You understand, you're American. It's not your choice. Yeah, because you guys are better. Some news from across the pond. What is that? ISR Aerospace wins $10 million European Commission launch contract. Cool, man. Rubber holder. There we go. So they're putting together the first, these are the first stages for the Soyuz here. I love how they show this integration footage. That's really good. Oh, hello. The red is the nozzle covers right there. Oh, hello. Yeah, I don't hate that. That's cool. This is where the front of the stage attaches. This little hinge. This little hinge piece right there is actually what is part of the Soyuz separation system. See, they put the guide pin in, and it has a key going through it to line it up, right? And then when the Soyuz first stage separates, right? They have separator motors down the bottom, and this pin is up at the front, and the separator motors are down at the bottom of the booster. So when they separate, they blow outwards first. Blowing outwards turns that pin right here, and it pops the top of the LOX tank off, and the LOX tank vents, so you get that very distinctive Korolev cross that happens when the Soyuz launches. Does it look bent? No. No. Oh, God, I hope not. Vents.
Number 15 Burger King. What lettuce? The last thing you'd want in your...
Sorry, I'm not playing the whole thing. Oh, yeah, baby. See, there's the pin. Pops the top of the LOX tank. Yep. That's a nice. Take the cap off. Oh, yeah. It's all coming together. Nice. Awesome footage. All right, what else do we have here? Cosmonoid? Turn on subtitles, it's mostly interviews. Oh, okay. That's their fancy looking rocket. Alright, yep, that's beyond me. Auto-translated ones? Okay. This usually doesn't end well. Cosmoport, yeah. Well, that's P. I always forget.
В Гавианский космический центр доставлена новая партия космических аппаратов OneWeb. Низкоорбитальные спутники обеспечат наземных потребителей высокоскоростным интернетом. Уже завершилась заправка двигательных установок разгонного блока «Фрегат» с сжатыми газами и топливом. Работы ведут специалисты НПО имени Лавочкина и Цинки. Стартовая площадка Российского Союза на французском космодроме – яркий пример международного сотрудничества Роскосмоса и Европейского космического агентства.
С французами работать комфортно, потому что, в первую очередь, конечно же, это хороший порядок, хороший график, хорошие взаимоотношения. Вроде бы разные языки, но как будто работаем на одном. Взаимопонимание, конечно, на высшем уровне.
как написал французский писатель Антуан де Сент-Экзюпери, я цитирую по памяти, если хочешь, чтобы люди были врагами, подбрасываем зерно, а если хочешь, чтобы они были братья, заставляй их построить башню. И вот башня есть.
Wait, what was his name? Danny? Danny. Right? Nikita's the one before that. Yeah.
Российского Союза на французском космодроме яркий пример международного сотрудничества Роскосмоса и Европейского космического агентства.
С французами работать комфортно, потому что, в первую очередь, конечно же, это хороший порядок, хороший график, хорошие взаимоотношения. Вроде бы разные языки, но как будто работаем на одном. Взаимопонимание, конечно, на высшем уровне.
Французский писатель Антуан де Сент-Экзюпери, я цитирую по памяти, если хочешь, чтобы люди были врагами, подбрасываем зерно, а если хочешь, чтобы они были как братья, заставляй их построить башню. И вот башня есть, вот видите ее за мной. И не только вот мобильная башня, а еще вот ракета стоит.
Is this guy? Is that a Frenchman speaking Russian? Is that what I'm hearing here? A French-Russian accent? Russian. Yeah, no, he speaks pretty good Russian, actually. It threw me off for a second, and then I heard that traditional peanut butter stuck to the top of your mouth. Accent.
И поставить ракету на старт это большое дело.
It's big. I understood the end of that. This is big. Yeah. Это большой. Big. Admit it, you speak perfect Russian. That would be nice.
Более половины спутников OneWeb уже на орбите. Космические аппараты с высоты 1200 километров обеспечат глобальную связь. В феврале эту орбитальную группировку дополнит еще 34 космических аппарата, которые выведет на орбиту Российский Союз.
Cool. What else we got? Oh. Surveying. We were talking about surveying the other day. That's a surveying camera. Or, well, not really a camera, but kind of.
Розы будто разогревают строительство ракетно-космического комплекса «Амур» на космодроме «Восточный». Еще перед Новым годом началась крупная узловая сборка нижнего перекрытия кабель-заправочной башни для ракеты «Ангара».
Yeah, they're working on the Angara pad.
Строительство всех 17 этажей кабель-заправочной башни с фермами удержания и обслуживания планируется завершить к концу года.
Twin fixed service structures.
Монтажопорного устройства кабель-заправочной башни. Сейчас проводится заключительная операция, оформляются документы для того, чтобы передать данную отметку для продолжения строительно-монтажных работ ПСО «Казань». Мы готовы приступить к монтажу первых 4 этажей кабель-заправочной башни. Данное оборудование доставлено сюда. Сейчас проводится крупногабаритная сборка.
В этом году на космодроме «Восточный» запланированы 5 пусков со стартовой площадки ракеты «Союз», в том числе и самый важный для российских ученых – запуск автоматической межпланетной станции «Луна-25».
I was gonna say, it makes sense. Is it messed up if it makes sense in my mind seeing Russians like this, and then when they were interviewing Nikita a little bit earlier, Russians in tropical climate is very messing with brain. I don't know why that does that, but yeah. My brain associates cold with your country, Russians. I mean, I wonder why, right? Like, that's not super far-fetched, is it? Kind of a bit. Okay. All right. Gee, I wonder why that's happening. All right, let's see what else we got.
Космодром Байконур готовится к первому старту этого года. 15 февраля ракета «Союз» отправит грузовой корабль «Прогресс» МС-19 к международной космической станции. Грузовой корабль, как космический курьер, доставит на орбиту провизию, воду, топливо и научное оборудование общим весом около 2,5 тонн. Сейчас на космодроме проходит подготовка корабля. Одновременно специалисты ЦНК готовят к старту и ракету «Союз», которая выведет в космос грузовик. Запуск «Прогресса» юбилейный. Это будет 80-я миссия снабжения Международной космической станции.
Progress 80. Crazy. So MS-19 will be the 80th resupply mission for the Progress spacecraft to the ISS over the last 20 years, which is pretty damn good.
Наш казачок и Розалинда присядут на Красной планете. Новую научную экспедицию к Марсу готовят Роскосмос и Европейское космическое агентство. Запуск в нынешнем году. Это будет вторая часть масштабного проекта «Exomars». Первая стартовала 6 лет назад. Российская ракета «Протон» отправила к Красной планете орбитальный аппарат для изучения атмосферы. В этот раз на Марс полетят посадочные...
The Exomars mission is a joint project between the Europeans and the Russians. Exomars is a lander that will launch to Mars in 2022, I believe.
Платформа «Казачок», разработан по имени Лавочкина, и ровер Розалинд Франклин, в честь известной женщины-биофизика, которая исследовала молекулы ДНК, основу жизни.
It was a rubber bumper, goalie.
Большинство российских приборов сосредоточено на посадочной платформе, но, кроме того, и на марсоходе, который делает Европейское космическое агентство, есть два российских прибора, оба они делаются в ИКИ.
What rocket was that animation? That's Proton. Proton.
Это нейтронный детектор Адрон и инфракрасный спектрометр. Задачей прибора ИСМ является минералогический анализ поверхности Марса, но особый интерес, конечно, воды.
Сверхзадача миссии «Экзомарс» — поиски следов жизни на Красной планете. Когда-то в юности у бога войны была атмосфера, подобной...
Why did NASA do a sky crane compared to a landing platform like that? Because the rover... Sile, long story short, the rover's a little bigger than a golf cart. Yeah, a landing platform favors a very light, small rover. So like Spirit and Opportunity, very small. Those actually landed in a little bit of a different way, but yeah, when you're trying to land a rover the size of a Mini Cooper on the surface of Mars, yeah, you can't use a landing platform. It would be too big. Sky crane was the solution.
Земной и океаны воды, и может быть жизнь.
Имеется в виду жизнь, это, естественно, не разрушенные города, это не могилы местных аборигенов, это прежде всего, это органические соединения, которые являются как кирпичиками для строения более сложной всей жизни.
Yeah, guys, not Spirit and Opportunity. Perseverance and Curiosity are huge. They're bigger than you think. Here, JPL rovers. There's a very famous picture with all the different landers that JPL has put on the moon. Here's dudes sitting with them. These are test articles for said rovers, but so there's Spirit and Opportunity. They're about the size of a golf cart. This thing is the size of a small vehicle. It's the size about the size of a Mini Cooper. It's bigger than you think it is. This little guy, this little baby rover. Yeah, Perseverance and Curiosity are very big. They are big pieces of equipment. Yeah, not small. That's why you have to use a sky crane, guys, because you can't, unless you're landing something light. I mean, retrofiring could work. NASA has looked into that, actually. They're the ones that came up with, wait for it, supersonic retropropulsion. That was a NASA idea for landing payloads on Mars because of said problems. You can't really use parachutes all the way down. You can use drogues to slow you down, but Mars's atmosphere isn't thick enough. You're not going to use parachutes all the way down unless you're landing something very light. Like this. But even then, NASA came up with other solutions. Do you want to see how they landed Spirit and Opportunity? You guys watch this. Here. So it launched us on a Delta II. Watch. Blue rocket.
Current altitude 121 miles. Current velocity 12,084 miles per hour.
We are now at an altitude of 73 miles, moving at a speed of 12,192 miles per hour. Expected parachute deploy in.
Here. You got a nice parachute there. There's your drogues. Watch this. You guys like bouncy castles?
Expected retro rocket ignition on my mark. Mark. At this point in time, we should be on the ground. Any signal that we receive from now indicates the vehicle would be alive.
This happened twice, actually, and it worked both times. You guys remember the landings on Mars? Oh, I remember. Oh, yeah, I remember. Oh, yeah, using member berries. Member berry retropropulsion. Very nice.
No signal at the moment. Stand by. Signal strength is currently intermittent. We don't see a signal at the moment. Right. What do we see?
I don't think Pathfinder landed the same way. Pathfinder landed the same way too. Pathfinder was, it's not that exact landing system though. It's a different landing system, is it not? But similar, it's derived from it, if I'm remembering right. Because if I said that Pathfinder landed the same way too, you guys would have said, oh, well, Pathfinder is different. Don't bull crap me. I know exactly what you're on. I know exactly what your game is. Why don't they still land rovers this way? The Sky Crane is way cooler. Yep, there we go. Imagine aliens being on Mars and seeing this. Seeing this fall from the sky, I'd run.
The first thing we have to do after we land is open our solar panels to the sun so we'll have some power. This charges up the batteries.
I'd run. I'd be like, no thanks.
After that, we can deploy the camera mast so the rover can see, and deploy the antenna so the rover can talk to us.
The other things are sending their balls again. Imagine seeing this land in the woods, I'd be like, bye. We're all gonna die. It's weighted on one side, Sile. That's why, you know, like, oh, what if it lands upside down? Well, the bottom is a lot heavier. So it's more like an egg than it is like a perfect bouncy ball. Legit. Just like casino dice, huh? Hell no. Yeah, I'd be like, yeah. Yeah, we can leave now. But anyway, yeah, bouncy castle. I remember reading about these in high school in Popular Mechanics. Guys, yeah, I'm looking around. There's not really much. It's just a bunch of rocks. Where did you guys send me? What is this? Oh, the sun's going down. Hello? Hello? Oh no. Oh God. It's so lonely here. What is my purpose? You drive in circles. Oh my God. Oh, it looks like the sun came up again, so maybe I'll just drive off here. Guys, hello. Sorry, it made me laugh. Happy birthday to me, I guess. Can you imagine these? How long were these things supposed to last on the surface, dudes? they were supposed to last like a couple of months. Both of them lasted well over a decade, which is unreal. Yeah, 90 souls. All right. They both lasted a decade, man. That's crazy. Heck, Curiosity has been up there for 11 years. They said my mission was 90 days. I get to go home after that, right? Right? Anakin Skywalker meme. Yeah, when we lost Oppie, that sucked. Basically, too much dust got on the solar pit, so Spirit got stuck. That's why we stopped using that. Spirit got stuck in some deep sand. Opportunity kept going, but then a sandstorm hit it, and the sandstorm got dust on its solar panels, and the solar panels couldn't charge. Well, that just probably should go around these rocks, I guess. All right. Hello? Anybody here? It's just a machine, Shaw. It is what it is. Oh, this rock looks cool. Here, let me poke it. This looks nice. Can I just... All right. And I'm going to take a sample now. Yeah, guys, it appears to be a rock. Oh, that's cool. So, still here. Just gonna go to sleep now. I'll just go over here and I'll just drive this way. All right. Oh, it's not a boulder, guys. It's a rock. Anyway. Yeah, so the Exomars mission, going back to it, the Exomars mission, this is small. This is a small rover. It's about the size of Spirit and Opportunity, I think. Might be a little smaller.
Если найдет что-то необычное, марсоход проведет бурение на глубину до 2 метров.
He is drilling for vodka.
На Марсе нет собственного магнитного поля, на Марсе достаточно разреженная атмосфера. Эта поверхность, она подвергается достаточно серьезному воздействию космического излучения, в отличие от Земли.
Okay, I'm not trying to be mean, but that guy looks exactly like Lester from GTA 5.
И поверхностный слой, если там
Rocket Sage. Analysis.
Жизнь, то он как бы, выжжен. Поэтому надо идти вглубь.
He's Russian. He's Lester's Russian cousin.
Сегодня Марс интересен ученым всего мира. Интерес подогрели открытия последних...
Man, don't hate me because I'm beautiful, man. Maybe if you got yourself some atmosphere, you'd get some humans on your surface. Or better yet, maybe if you had a magnetic field, you'd be able to keep those gases in. Planet.
Лет воды и метана на Красной планете. На Земле один из главных источников этого газа – микробы. Пока ученые с выводами не торопятся. Еще много вопросов. Однако шансы найти жизнь на Марсе это только повышает.
Cool. All right, cool. Spaceport. That was the spaceport recap from our buddies in Russia. Spasiba. Why don't we send humans with shovels? Yeah, we should do that. На здоровье. Okay, so next bit. I think that's everything except for the SpaceX stuff. So we'll get into the SpaceX stuff now. The first thing is that there's an upper stage out of control around the moon and it's going to crash onto the surface. Yeah, there's a Falcon 9 upper stage that is orbiting around the moon. Now, a lot of people had questions about this. No MSC. I want to play some cities. We'll play MSC tomorrow. I want to keep going with the airport project. I'm into it, man. Just into it right now. I'm just gonna keep rolling with it. So there's a Falcon 9 second stage that's orbiting around the moon that is set to decay and crash into the moon. So what does that mean? All right, so we got to get into a little bit of orbital mechanics here. So I have to explain this part, and people are going to meme in chat because it's Twitch chat. So the planets, Earth, the moon, sun, Jupiter, whatever, they're not perfect spheres, and they're not perfectly uniform in volume, okay? It's like weighted on one side. Basically, the exact center of the Earth isn't the Earth's center of mass, all right? Because the Earth is really a non-uniform sphere. It kind of bulges at the center, and then there's a bunch of stuff churning and bubbling underneath it. Basically, Earth is one big, giant Mr. Coffee. No, sir, we call it Mr. Coffee. Care for some? Yes! I always have my coffee when I watch Radar. You know that. Everybody knows that. Anyway, so Earth kind of wobbles around like this. And the moon does too. The moon is tidally locked, but it doesn't have a perfectly uniform gravitational pull because the center of mass isn't at the exact center of the moon. Now, because of this, you get what's called precession. You get perturbing forces from non-uniform gravitational pulls around celestial bodies. What does that mean in plain English? Because it's wobbling, the stuff around it also wobbles with it. But those gravitational perturbations, basically non-uniform gravitational pull, right, can actually pull stuff in. So stuff can decay. An orbit can decay around the moon because the lunar gravitational pull will slightly decelerated and accelerated and decelerated and accelerated over time. This is called a perturbing force or orbital perturbations. These perturbing forces can be used to your advantage, like around Earth, there are sun-synchronous orbits, SSO orbits, which is where all the enemy of the state, like spy satellites are. Those guys use the Earth's non-uniform gravitational pull to change the argument of perigee over time. So they literally image the same spot on the Earth at the same time every day. Really good, because if the satellite flies over your enemy's missile base at night, it's pretty worthless. You really can't see anything. All they got to do is shut the lights off, and then you're good to go. So these sun-synchronous orbits use non-uniform gravitational pull from Earth, called precession, right? That basically moves the satellite around in its orbit. Now, that means that if you sent a Deep Space Climate Observatory on your Falcon 9 rocket out to the moon, or out near the moon, then the stage will get caught in lunar orbit and it'll eventually decay, which is exactly what's happening now. Everybody, it's an out-of-control SpaceX rocket with the moon. All right, so what? It's not that big of a deal. So this Falcon 9 has launched the Deep Space Climate Observatory, known as Discover. It was the first Falcon 9 1.1 mission back in what was it? Yeah, Discover was conducted by launch provider SpaceX using their Falcon 9 1.1 rocket. I could have sworn Discover was not February of 20... Yeah, okay, I guess it was. Man, was that really the first time for Falcon 9? 11 February 2015? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, so its upper stage is still up there. The Discover satellite is positioned... hold on, let me read. Orbital reference system is using heliocentric regime sun. Oh, it's at L1. Okay, so it's at a Lagrangian point, kind of similar to James Webb, but James Webb is at Earth Sun L2. L2 is not the same place. So Discover is over here, and James Webb is over here. Discover launched in the middle of the 1.1 series. What was the first 1.1 launch? It wasn't Discover. It was at Vandenberg. I'm trying to... Cassiopean? Thank you. I know it wasn't like a run-of-the-mill mission. It was like Cassiopeia or Discover or Test or something. I know it wasn't Test. Test was a Block 5. Or was it? Man, so many Falcon flights, dude. I lost track. I lost track of these a long time ago. So, long story short, the stage ended up getting caught in lunar gravitational pull, and it will eventually crash into the moon. So if you hear anybody going around, and saying like, "Oh my God, space has crashed a stage, it's unplanned stage," it's crashing into the moon. It's not a big deal. We've crashed stages into the moon before. The Apollo program did it on purpose. Some of the S-4B stages found themselves punching the lunar surface in the face for seismic science experiments. They put seismographs down on the moon from the Apollo missions, and then they crashed the stage in to see if they picked it up. Will the moon ring like a gong? Actually, yes, Keg. That was proved during the Apollo program. So, yes, it will, but you're in space, so we won't be able to hear it. See what I did there? All right. Was L1 a long toss for Falcon? It depends on your payload mass, Sasquatch. Depends on how heavy your payload is, and weight has nothing to do with it. It's very much mass, because there's no weight in space. Oh no, my plot I bought in 1995 is going to be ruined. Yeah. The moon is actually hollowed out. There are lava tubes on the moon which suggest past evidence for volcanic activity. Tell them about the Twinkie. Tell them about the orange soil. Yeah, here. Yeah, look at that. That's actually not volcanic rock. It was orange for another reason. But yeah, we scratched the surface of the moon on Apollo 17 just to send up Jack Schmitt and Gene Cernan with a shovel, and they went and dig and they found orange rocks. So Cheeto dust comes from the moon. Yeah, why do you think it's such a pain in the butt to get off your hand? Absolutely. So the moon is a ship. Oh God, please, no. Nope. Yeah, they found, that's what I mean. Capybara, anytime anybody has ever said, "Oh, why are we going back to the moon? We've already been here." We have literally only scratched the surface of the moon. Literally. Like, we sent Jack Schmitt and Gene Cernan up there with a shovel and they scratched the surface. Just so you know, I am the moon. I don't think you are. Also, shameless shot of one of my all-time favorite pictures from the Apollo program. Oh, baby. Yep. Only the tires are made by Chevy Tessa, okay? That would be a what the frick moment, seeing that it... Yeah, exactly, Gully. You should have heard. The EVA footage of them digging up the soil is out there. They completely went off, like, mission comms. And Jack Schmitt was like, "What the frick? It's orange. Are you kidding me? It's orange. Do you see this?" No, the EVA footage is out there. Yeah, they're like, guys, the rocks are changing color. Okay. Yep. Yeah, Jack Schmitt's like, "It's orange. What the frick? Oh, I gotta get some of that." Because Jack Schmitt well, he's still alive, actually. He's a geologist. That was the only scientist we sent on any of the Apollo missions. And the rest were all test flights. Because every Apollo mission did something a little bit more. Jack Schmitt was the first one to go up there for a science mission. So he started digging and he found orange rocks. Yeah. Crazy, right? Yeah, see, some of these images have been color corrected, but that's what they saw. I mean, that would blow my frickin' mind. I'd be like, no. Why does that look like clay? Can you check your O2 levels real quick? Yeah. Yep. And also, like I said, some of the pictures from Apollo 17. Guys, okay, so think about this for a second. You've seen a footage of these guys driving around in the rovers, right? They're driving around the moon rover. That's cool. Apollo 17 went like 5 miles away from the landing site. 5 miles away. So, what is that? Almost 10 kilometers away from the landing site. Think about that for a second. They went almost like out of visible sight of the landing site. That's scary, dude. That's ballsy. What if you flip the rover? You're fricked. You got to walk back. No, well, you could probably just flip it back over, but also, crazy, right? Dude, I'm telling you, some of those Apollo, what are they? The Apollo K missions are insane. The ones with the rovers. Guys, something that a lot of people don't know, it's like, okay, we went to the moon 6 times. So Apollo 11, 12, and 14 were only there for a day at best, maybe 20 hours on the surface. 15, 16, and 17. 17 spent 3 days up there. 3 days on the surface of the moon. That's why they were able to drive so far away and back. That's crazy, dude. That is far beyond the horizon of the moon. Well, yeah, the lunar rover has an antenna on it, but yeah, crazy, huh? Dude, these missions are so ballsy. They're so ballsy by modern standards. I love it. I love how crazy they are. We should do this again. We'll do this again in a couple of years. Do we know how many days Artemis 3 will last? I don't know, Capybara. To be honest with you, no idea. My lunar rover, you thought Finland was dangerous. That would literally be the... Mr. Bond, that's a good idea. That would be the freaking craziest game ever. Can you imagine? You gotta build the damn lunar rover. Oh, no. Oh, God. I don't want this at all. Yo, that's a really good idea. My summer rover. My lunar rover. Can you imagine? You have to survive, and you have to like go get jugs of water from a resupply vehicle or something. Oh my God! No. Seriously, like with Uncle's Moon Base, dude. I had a cool idea for a space movie the other day. I'm not going to share it. It's cool. My lunar car. Can you imagine? That would suck. You think summer car is difficult? This game would be impossible. What happens if you short the battery? You're fricked. Oh my God. Oh jeez. Yeah, instead of urine levels, well, you have urine levels. You also have oxygen levels. Oh God. Topless, don't get any ideas if you're here. I know about Mombezu. Your hunger meter can only be refilled with poutine. You haul around a wood splitter with your four-wheeler to get firewood to run your sugar shack to make maple syrup. Oh, God. Wait 5 days for the next supply mission? Frick that. You think any of the Apollo guys kept or snuck some rocks home? No. Maybe. I don't know. Goalie, you got to remember, taking souvenirs is kind of frowned upon because if you take too much souvenirs, you ain't getting home. Posted these long ago, but Apollo 11 and 17 overlaid over New York. All right, so yeah, here, take a look. This actually puts it into perspective pretty damn well. Here, take a look. So this is the deck of Intrepid right here, right? This is the deck of Intrepid, right? This is where Apollo 11 moved around. They walked out here, placed down the seismographs, etc., etc. You know, that's just the deck of an aircraft carrier. That's not a lot, All right, you want to see what Apollo 17 did? This is 50 meters, by the way. Watch this. Boop. Crazy, huh? That's how far Apollo 17 got from the landing site. That's a long way, especially when you overlay it over Manhattan. That's going from the Williamsburg Bridge to Central Park. That's a long way, dude. Hopefully soon. We do it in a Cybertruck. Wouldn't that be something? You go and take this picture again? I mean, because the Lunar Rovers is still up there. Park the Cybertruck next to it. What up? It would suck to get lost out there. Well, you can follow your tracks. You don't need to worry about that. So why didn't it get more publicity? People did not care by then. Yeah. They didn't care. The mainstream public, you know, we landed on the moon, and then Apollo 12 landed, and then 13, even Apollo 12 had like half the viewership that 11 had. 13, the only reason people watched it is because people almost died. And then 14, 15, 16, 17, the only people that really cared about that is spaceflight stuff. Spaceflight people, which is dumb. But, yeah, this is why guys, this is part of the reason why I do what I do. You got to keep spaceflight in the public conscious. It's part of the human condition. You got to keep it in public conscious. It's important. It's important to do that. It's important to keep people interested. That's why that's why, you know, whenever we talk about the Apollo mission, I always bother to show these pictures and talk about this stuff, because this stuff's important. We got to do this. Konstantin Tsiolkovsky said that Earth is our cradle. It's our home, but you got to leave the cradle sometime. That guy invented the delta V formula. He knew what he was talking about. Literally, Konstantin Tsiolkovsky, the ideal rocket equation is named after him. It's Tsiolkovsky's rocket equation. It denotes the range of a spacecraft. That's very, very important. So, you know, like NASA was the coolest thing, and then everybody was on to the next thing, or on to this, or on to that, or on to disco. I'll trade disco for the Apollo missions. Can we do that? Yeah, in the early 1900s at that, yeah. But it's very important, and I think that's great, you know, that, you know, NASA constantly has social media accounts tweeting, and that's why I thought Jim was such a good fit for NASA, because he could come and say exactly what the frick they're doing. You know, he could explain it very well. He does what I do like 1,000 times better, and he also was running NASA. That's why I liked him so much, because he just explained to people what's going on, which is really cool. Jim was perfect. It's a shame, Ian. It's a shame. I mean, Bill isn't bad. Bill's not a very good orator. No offense, you know. Or Artemis have more views than Apollo 11? Oh, yeah. Absolutely. What if the moon is just a giant disco ball? Well, then we should go up there and disco then. People were focused on Rule 8 at the time. Yeah, Aaron, or we basically... It could be something. So there's folks out there that have summed it up basically like this. All right. You know, while the Apollo missions were going on, people said, no, we need to focus on stuff down here. We need to focus on stuff down here. We need to focus on stuff down here. There's better places to spend the money. And everybody during the Apollo program is like, all right, yeah, that's fair. All right, let's do that. Let's do that. And we'll go back to space later. And they're like, yeah, we need to focus on down here so we can go back to space later. Yeah, that's why I know. Well, it's funny, because the people that say that, well, they were wrong. So I will be unyielding on this because of the lessons learned from canceling the Apollo program. Yeah, no. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. How about you work on the stuff down here and I'll work on the stuff up there? Oh, you don't want to? Oh, that's... Okay. No, the point is that it's not mutually exclusive. We can do both. We can will and should do both of these things. I just knocked my water over. Oh no, it went onto my TI-83. This just in, people can focus on multiple things at the same time. No, we can't! Right? I just knocked my water over. Does the calculator still work? Yeah, she's fine. Just a little wet. Does it work? Let's see. Literally just drenched it in water and it still works. This thing is the best. I love this thing. Still dripping water. Nice. I gotta dry my desk off here real quick, dudes. But yeah, that's... You know, we listened to those people 50 years ago, right? Everyone's like, oh, we should be focusing on stuff down here, the war, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and then they're like, yeah, we'll do space later, and then they never did space later. It's like, can we have Apollo missions? No, we have Apollo missions at home. Apollo missions at home. You know what I mean. Fill in your favorite picture there. Isn't it later now, though? 50 years later? But yeah, so there's your little bit about lunar stuff. So let's go see what is going on with our buddies over at NASA Spaceflight. Let's see. We have a couple of videos, a couple of Starship videos to keep up from. I think the last one we watched was the oil video. Oh wow, we got 3 of them. So here, check it out. This footage is coming from our buddies over at NASA Spaceflight. Nick and Sweeney and Mary down in Boca Chica give us this footage, and NSF is nice enough to let us show it and transform it and allow my terrible freaking commentary over their footage. So make sure you go over there and give NSF's YouTube channel a follow. Please do it. Trust me. Well worth the content. I'm gonna move myself back a little bit over here. And then they never fix down here. Yeah, I know. When will then be now? Soon. Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. Indeed. Rocket Primer. A dude NASA during Apollo 11 will be on Mars by 2000. Actually, the Apollo program is scheduled to go to Mars in the 80s, Primer, but for the memes, I'll keep going. Year 2000. Hello, I'm Bonzi Buddy, and I'll help you search. App State, I only follow streamers from Boston. Really? Why? There's plenty of good talent out there. There's the wide bay going up. Damn it, I got stuck in my head. Wide Peepo Bay. Yes. Yes, the wide Peepo Bay. It's pretty sus. Yeah, I know, right? How many spaceports does SpaceX want to have in the semi-near future? Well, I'm going to pause it for a second. Oh, look at the dually. It's good for a Chevy. No, how much? I believe in the near future, KSC and Boca Chica. Guys, and now, Ian, I might need your help on this one. How I currently look at this is I think that Boca Chica will be a development and test site for SpaceX. What does that mean? It's where they designed all the equipment. It's where they built the prototype. So basically, Boca Chica in the future will be doing what Stennis, Marshall, Armstrong. Stennis, Marshall, and Armstrong. Armstrong is aerodynamic research for NASA. Marshall is dynamic research for NASA. Aerospace dynamic research for NASA. So like blowing up fuel tanks in gigantic hydraulic presses to see when it blows up, etc., etc. And then Stennis is propulsion testing, right? So actually not Stennis. Stennis would be McGregor, right? I think this thing is going to be doing what Marshall will be doing, a lot of dynamic testing, and what Edwards will be doing, a lot of aero testing with the capability to be able to launch. So it's like a little bit of KSC, a little bit of Marshall, little bit of Edwards. So, and we know from the programmatic environmental assessment that they're really only limited to 5 to 10 flights at high altitudes here. They can do more hops and stuff if you want. One hop. But there's no way that Boca Chica is ever going to live up to the production scope that Elon Musk wants, right? So what I think is that Boca Chica is going to be used for testing. And then I think KSC is where the pads are going to get made, the ones that get used a lot. I think that's where they're going to end up. Agreed, 100%. Boca Chica is the production site beta, and I believe Roberts Road will be production site 1.0. Building off of the lessons and failures of Boca, I think it'll blow Boca Chica out of the water in terms of production efficiency. Yeah, Ian, I agree. And I think it's all going to get thrown together in the VAB, or at least I can hope that. Anyway. Kerbal Space Center? Yeah, something like that. Nah, Kiranov, well, that's why I do what I do. I'm curbing that mentality. Space is absolutely useful. If you're watching this on any form of digital processor, you can thank NASA for that one. No, they didn't invent the digital processor. Turing did, if I'm remembering correctly. Or Marconi. I mean, that's more the transistor, I think. But NASA didn't invent the digital processor, but NASA in the 60s for the Apollo program pioneered electromechanical engineering. What does that mean? A computer operating a machine. Literally everything is operated by a computer nowadays. So what they came up with, CMOS, RAM, processor, that's all NASA, baby. All NASA. So anybody watching this stream on a computer, yeah, you can thank NASA for the advances in computing tech nowadays. There's a reason why this thing is literally a transcoder from Star Trek and we don't have flying cars. Well, the Apollo program advanced digital computing probably ahead by about 20 years, which is why this thing seems out of place. See what I'm talking about? That's why I do what I do, to tell you guys stuff like that. Who invented biodigital jazz, man? Kevin Flynn! Where are you now? Tricoder, not transcoder. Your Trekkie is showing. I'm a streamer. I can say transcoding. That's fine. Unfortunately, we also thank NASA for Intel. We can also thank NASA for Intel and NVIDIA. Yeah, I'm not sure what the stretch is there, Tessa, and not sure what the stretch is there. Let's just keep watching the footage. Biodigital Jazz is my new band name. Nice. Okay, so they're moving rings around here. Aft tank stack. Booster assembly. Hey, we have Kato. Oh, no, not yet. Imagine being the guy on that thing. It's a long way up. Starship is about 150 feet tall. It's a long way up. If we use metric here, sir, 55 meters. 47 to 50 meters. It's closer to that. And no, we don't. It's my stream, Kiranov. The only reason we use metric is so you guys can understand it better. This is an Imperial stream. This metric system is not used by the Alliance. It could be an Imperial code. We use kilofeet here, actually. Base 10 feet measurement. Deal with it. Okay, so this looks like the transport stand. If you notice that the transport stand and then suborbital pad B here both have this kind of retracting umbilical thingamajigger here. That's to pressurize the tanks, and I bet you it also supports fuel flow for the suborbital pad, not for this thing though. Not for the transport stand. I'd be very curious to see why they would want to fuel up something on the transport stand, but yeah. Damn imperialists. Yeah, there's the transporter stand right there. See the little hydraulic there they use to attach it? And then there's Starship's umbilical right there. They're using a radial umbilical now. I mean, they have been for a little while, but before the umbilicals used to go up-down. Now they go left-right. Yes, that's right, O-Force. Yep. Yeah, it's for pressure. It's for keeping pressure in the tanks. Just keep it pressurized. 5-head. Yep. Ian, it looks like for the transport stand, they literally copied this umbilical. It looks exactly the same. But, Ian, another thing that I noticed here, and I don't know if you noticed that too, but look. So there's a hydraulic right here, but there's a strut right there. Interesting. There's a strut with 2 Heim joints at the end that's just kind of hanging there. So it looks like they use the hydraulic to... This thing is not designed to, like, move like the quick disconnect, right? The hydraulic moves this into place, if I had to guess. They latch the umbilical, and then they take this strut and they unbolt the hydraulic from there, and then they attach that there. This looks like you just take a hand pump and... See, because it has the 2 hydraulic inputs right there on a quick disconnect. So that tells me that they put this spreader in there just to move the umbilical up, and then they put the strut in place so it doesn't move. They absolutely left auto strut on. Yep, see, this thing is not designed to be articulate, right? And another interesting thing here is if you look at this thing, it's on a slide. See that? It slides back and forth. So they move it up into position and then manually slide it into position, clamp the port, and then attach the strut down there. The auto-convert Chrome extension converts common measurements you highlight. A game changer. Oh, cool. Hey, Andy, what's going on? Now, NASA isn't going anywhere, Primer. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Two questions for you. How is your recent truck project going? It's going good. It's about to get covered in a foot of snow, though, Andy. But other than that, it's going all right. Yeah, I was driving it around yesterday. Did some work on it. Small things. I painted the windshield wipers, the windshield wiper arms, which were like beet red. I painted them back to factory. They're matte black again. So I got to do that and a couple of other things. I mean, painting in the cold probably wasn't a good idea, but Andy, it's been super freaking cold here. We're talking like 20 degrees every day. Kind of sucks. Second question, something happened to you KSP or just a break? Just a break. Yeah, East Coast, pain in the butt, man. I'm going to paint the mirrors next time I get a chance and it's a little bit warmer, TARS. Paint the mirrors back to factory black. Yeah, growing pain in the butt. No, he's stick welding. Oh no, he's got a flap. He's got the flap wheel out, so he's finishing back a weld there. Something up there on the quick disconnect. All right, that's one video. Let's see what else we got. We got to go here. What about the chrome mirrors? Well, the ones that are on there are plastic. I want to replace it with the chromers, the towing mirrors, Tessa. That would be cool. But yeah, Andy, it's coming along okay. I'm basically just trying to return the truck back to stock, get everything running in good order, then paint it, and then we start doing fun stuff to it. But that's way down the road. I'm just doing small stuff that's not really that fun to stream, like painting wiper arms is probably not something anybody cares about. So just doing little things here and there, but it is coming along. There's a lot of small things that truck needs, and that was even before Hoon used it for Scumbag Labs. There's a lot of stuff that it needs. What color are you gonna paint it? White? America, I want it white, back to white, factory white, and then if we want to change the color again, like if I want to make it red and silver again, we'll just wrap it. Yeah, just put a wrap on it or something. NASA wrap, yeah. I want it like that C-130, Bram. That would be cool. Like so two-tone, right? But white with a blue stripe, and then where the white should be on the bottom with the two-tone, you make it gray. So gray, white, and gray, blue, and white, it would look really cool. It looks nice. That render that you did, I like that, man. So these guys are working on the orbital launch tower. But here, check this out. Side note, see these tabs right here that are on the I-beam? They're going to put cladding on this, just like 39A. See the, you can see that there's the hookups for the covers that will go on the side of this. Really, Aranor? I've definitely painted an entire quarter panel in a garage on stream. Whoops. But that was a long time ago. I've literally had you guys watch paint dry on stream before. Show stream your crappy mock-up. Okay, if you insist. Yeah, I mean, you just went over it with paint, and I don't want the logo on the hood, but it doesn't look bad. That doesn't look bad at all. It doesn't look bad at all. That looks really good. I mean, it's just paint, but dude, you really did a good job. So yeah, I would like to just paint it like that, and then if I get factory 8 lugs, the Steelies are gray. They're already gray. From the factory, Ford painted them gray. They're not black. These rims were originally that color, but they painted them. But that would look really, really cool. Make a red stripe instead of gray? Nah, PY. I don't want to do the tricolor stripe, dude. Because, well, I'll show you. I thought the red, white, and blue stripe would be cool, but it would look like a post van. And, yeah, not about that life. Not about that life. Yep, I wanted to put that color scheme on the truck. The red, white, and blue stripe. But, yep, nope. Yeah, I nixed that. Yeah, let's not do that, ever. No, I'm good, 251. What's wrong with the USPS? Nothing. I don't want to be driving down the road and people wave me down saying, "Where's my mail?" EJPS. How about Amtrak colors? Nah, I like their white, blue, and gray, to be honest with you. Alright, they're putting... Oh, no, they're attaching the... or they're disconnecting the rig off 20? Oh, yeah, this is after they moved it. Okay. You get the order to say, "You've got mail." Oh, jeez. What about a color scheme that looks like a heat shield tile, so white and black surfer? I'll think about it. What, like that? You know what we could do? You do a two-tone, and then we have brushed on the top. Brush the metal and then clear coat it on the top, and then paint it black on the bottom. Dude, that probably wouldn't look bad, but that would be a lot of work. Go for the starship look. See, this is why I thought painting it white and then doing a wrap would be a good idea. Oh, man, look at this thing. That thing is so cool. Dun, 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 bam, ba, 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 bum. 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 I suggested Haas colors. Yeah, I know. It's actually similar, right? Get the frick up. Bum, 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 bum. Lift the starship the frick up. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Sorry. How in the world are they going to stack those two? Those things, Nikita. These things. The chopsticks. The chopsticks aren't just used for catching the boosters. They're used for putting it together too. I mean, think about it. It makes a lot of sense. The same airport tug that you use to tow an airplane away from the gate is used to tow it to the gate if needed. It's not a bad idea. You think the fact that they moved 20 meters to the tower means that they're going to do lift tests with it soon? Yeah. Yeah, Jazos. I mean, with engineering, guys, it's always Occam's razor. But the simplest solution is probably what they're doing. But see, you need a little bit of context to that statement, right? So what does that mean? Well, in this particular case, you got to know that SpaceX is going to want to test the pad sometime soon before they get approval to fly this thing out of here. So at some point, they're going to need to test lifting Starship up, right? They lifted with the mass simulators a second ago, so you'd think that the next thing would be probably to lift Starship or Super Heavy, right? So them moving it towards the chopsticks is probably a pretty good indicator that they're going to try and lift it up with the chopsticks. Why else would they move it over there? If they just needed to do work to ship 20, they wouldn't move it near the pad. It's just going to get in the way of the guys trying to finish the pad, right? There's a really good reason why they do things. So it's like, it's Occam's razor. The simplest solution is probably what's going on. But also, there's an asterisk next to that because you got to understand the context for what's going on. Yeah, Aranor, yeah, right. They're still having issues with the tiles cracking and warping during transport. I mean, they might crap a little bit. Strangelove, I haven't seen any fall off from them moving it, no. From the static fire, they did lose a couple the last time they did it, but... yeah, it kind of does look like it, Server, doesn't it? We're on SN20 with the chopsticks attached, though. There's a little piece right there that's below the aero control surface. There's a little spot for them to put pegs in. At least I would guess. I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. I know there's something right here behind the aero control surfaces that will that could be used for holding it up. I mean, I think that's right. It doesn't have the lift pins on the sides, but it looks like it has an attachment point for those pins. But I don't know for sure. I mean, personally, guys, I would try to lift super... Well, no. It makes sense. You use the mass simulator, and then you'd lift Starship because it's a little... Mass simulator would be the full load test, right? Then lift Starship to make sure that works. To make sure that the tiles don't crack when you detension the entire vessel, right? Or decompress the entire vessel. When I say decompress, that means Starship's vertical, so it's kind of built like a building, right? When you pick it up, it's going to stretch a little bit, and that little bit of stretching, taking the compression force, and because you lift it up, that means it's now tension force. That pops tiles off. Yeah, so I would imagine they'll probably do some tests with it. And they'll probably just lift it up and lift it back down and lift it up and lift it down and lift it up and lift it down, maybe move it and then lift it back and lift it down. Just like what they did with the mass simulator, same thing. They'll probably do it to see if any of the tiles pop off. They might. It would be nice if they didn't. So, and then after that, try to move super heavy, right? Because moving Starship with the thermal protection system would be tough. Perhaps they'll just lift it from the top crane style. Maybe to prototype a test floating disc, but Starship is supposed to be caught by the tower as well, which is crazy. How screwed up would Starship be if it was in orbit and one or two tiles popped off? It probably wouldn't be a good thing, Kiranov, but yeah. The stainless steel can deal with the heat pretty well, but I'm not sure how well. There's the door prototype. So literally they're making a payload bay for this sucker, see? It looks like this door slides up and down. I don't know. Maybe they still want to do the chomper. Like, maybe the door opens like this. I can't tell. It's hard to tell from the latching system there. So bring some spares with you. Gotcha, yeah, right. Yep, there's one of the robot welders. Pretty much, Grim. Yeah, from what I can tell. I don't know, Kizek. I'm not exactly sure what they're trying to do. I'm not exactly sure if the door is like a shuttle payload bay door, or if it's like a breadbasket door where it kind of slides inwards, or if it opens like this. I don't know.
Discovery.
Okay, that's number 2 here. Alright, number 3. Hey, Miff, 36-month resub. What robot is in there? It's a Kuka. K-U-K-A, I think is the robots they have in there. Look at that thing. That is a wide spaceship, man. Can I just, hold on, can we go back and just look at this? This is a heck of a picture by Mary, if I do say so myself. Look at that. It's a really nice picture. Really nice rule of thirds going on here. You have the launch pad on the left third. In the center third, you have Starship. And then on the right third, you have Crane, showing that it's a spaceport that's under construction. It's a very well-framed picture. I know about the X-59 mass miner. We talked about it before. What do you think of it? I think it's a cool idea. They should do it. We should make more of them. Yeah, Shex. I think it might end up doing something like that. Yeah. But who knows? It has to, whatever it is, it has to be something that can be opened very quickly. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Starship doors will probably be able to open by themselves. So not like the shuttle payload bay doors where you need an overhead crane to pick the doors up. I'm going to go ahead and guess that. I would guess that Starship's door is going to be more like an airplane door, like on the side of a passenger liner, or a cargo door on the side of a passenger liner. That's my guess. Because it needs to operate like an airplane. So it would make sense if you give it a door like an airplane, right? Yeah, there you go, caveman. Yep, yep. I don't know, Tessa. Maybe you'll do it as a meme. Yeah, because how would you open it on Mars if you needed a crane first? Exactly, Ren. Yeah, so it's gotta open like an airplane door. Another great picture from Mary. Look at that freaking thing, man. Unbelievable. Yeah, Elvis, I know. This stuff takes time, homie, even with SpaceX. They'll get it. And when they do, man, is it going to be cool. The picture at 42 seconds in is better. Debatable. Nah. I like this picture better. You got a lot of negative space over here, a lot of positive space. The other picture at 42 has too much negative space. Oh. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Okay. You guys suck. Too much negative space, man. Gotta fill it up with stuff, am I right? Guys are pieces of trash, man, I swear. You, Richard. Nice. 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 You guys are all a bunch of giant Richards. That dude's working on the catcher mechanism there. Do you think they're going to fill in those gaps on those protectors on the launch mount? No. Game coder. It's only, you got to remember, it's going to get blasted with 33 Merlin, or 30, not Merlins, 33 Raptors, but it's only going to be for a second. Just enough to get the flames away for a split second, and you're good. Is that a trash bag? What are you doing? What? What are you doing, man? What I don't understand. What is happening here? What are you doing? You never use a trash bag in a raincoat? Is there a hole in the top? Oh, he's using it as a poncho. Does his helmet pop at the top, though? I can't tell. You punch a hole in... No, I can't say that I've ever done that. I was like, wait, what are you doing? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, there's a hole in the top. He's using it as a poncho. Okay, I gotcha. I'm like, wait, what are you doing, man? You forgot to cut holes in it. Guys, help! I'm stuck. You did it on a bicycle? Jeez. Oh, for frick's sake. Oh, man. I hope you're latched onto something. Jeez. That's a long way up, boy. Yeah, that guy's harnessed. All right, I would be harnessed at all times. Five stories. That's the quick disconnect, guys. They're doing work just above the quick disconnect. Not 5 stories. 20. Yeah, about 20 stories up. Yeah, it's like a 220 foot drop that way. So that's like halfway up the tower. Yeah, it's a long way. Scaffolding guys have zero Fs to give. Yeah, that's pretty cool, but it's no Dauntless dive bomber with a 1400 horsepower radial engine. Yeah, and that was underpowered for it, one sister. Oh. Guy's hitting that with an angle grinder. Yeah, he's flap disking it. Look at that. So that guy's hitting the thing with a flap disc. The reason why I know it's a flap disc is because it's not making any sparks, okay? Now, don't get me wrong, you can still make sparks with a flap disc if you want to. A flap disc is a type of attachment for this angle grinder here. What it's designed to do is, well, it's designed to linish back welds, and it's designed to take paint off. You use a flap disc or a wire wheel to get rid of paint. And it looks like they're grinding the paint off of the tracks for Mechazilla here. But yeah, that's a flap disc all day. You use it to get rid of paint, and you can use it to linish back a weld if you want. More linishing back a weld, but changing the discs on those things is such a pain in the butt. If I already had one for grinding back welds, I would just use it to take the paint off. Screw trying to change it to the wire wheel. What a waste of time. Corrosion? No. Well, I don't know, Gil. Maybe the thing is binding up. The bearings are binding up on the paint. Maybe you need to leave it bare metal, because it is train tracks after all. You don't see anybody paint train tracks. And if it corrodes over, so what? If it flash rusts, big deal. Railroad tracks do that all the time. They still work. I'm guessing the tolerances on that thing, Gil, have to be very, 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 very tight to get the whole thing to not bend, right? So if it bound up a little bit when they were doing load simulator tests, that would make sense that they would grind the paint back, right? Note how he was specifically grinding paint in the areas where the bearings run on the track. They weren't grinding in the center. Truck! Nice truck. I like that truck. One good grinder and 3 to 4 Harbor Freight ones. Yeah, the grinding scarecrow. Binky style. Truck. Bird. 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 Oh, get rid of the Prodozer wheels, guy. What's wrong with you? What are they scooping at 620? Concrete. They're pulling up some of the, they're probably replacing the concrete around suborbital pad B. Rocket engines ruin concrete, dudes, for what it's worth. Rocket engines to concrete is what a pressure washer is to a crusty driveway. Seriously, it's abrasive. It'll take stuff right off. I can tell, Smirks, that they're digging up concrete is because you could see the rebar right there. See? So it's reinforced concrete. Yeah. Digging up something. See all the rebar that was placed? I mean, the crazy thing is that, I mean, dude, look at that concrete. Look at how scuffed up it is. See what I'm talking about? I mean, it's hard to tell on the monitor, probably. I can barely tell on here, but I know that that's scuffed up concrete. Look at all the different color variation in it. I mean, that could have been because they dug it up. I understand, but it's not. It's from the rocket engine. Cart. That's just a damn shame. That's just a damn shame, boy. I tell you what. United Rentals. Concrete companies in the area must love them. Kirinov, one of the general contractors from Boca Chica that has the one of the contracts for building infrastructure down in Texas, called into the programmatic environmental assessment and was like, dude, I was out of work before SpaceX came here, and now they came here, my business is as big as it's ever been. So, yeah, dude, I mean, SpaceX probably employing thousands of people down there. It's like thousands of people. What do they do with the scraps? Yeah, Leop, they send them right back to the place where the stainless steel gets made. Most metals, guys, are extremely recyclable. Recyclable? Most metals are extremely recyclable. That's why people don't, like with manufacturing, like everyone's like, oh, why don't we use additive manufacturing? Because subtractive manufacturing is the same thing. You can use a drill bit and cut out pieces of a part, and it makes chunks, right? And you take those chunks, what they do is they basically sweep them up all off the floor. Actually, they get put into drainage channels, and they all drain back into a hopper. You take the hopper, you rinse it, and you send it back to the factory. They smelt it down, and then they make more aluminum or steel or whatever with it. Metal is super recyclable. Very sustainable, believe it or not. That's why more cars should be made out of metal and not plastic. Soapbox. No, never mind. Guy's got a plasma cutter. Glass and metal are very recyclable, Tessa. Yeah. Funny how that works. Propellant production site. Plasma cutters are fun. You need one. That's right, Ernor. You got it, buddy. Yeah, metal is super recyclable. Yeah. Aluminum, very, very, or aluminum, excuse me, very recyclable. Steel, oh yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why the Navy scraps carriers and stuff, so they could build more. Should go back to glass bottles for soda. Yeah. Yeah, Tars, that's right. Brimo's Fusion probably weighs just as much as my 69 Coronet because it has all that stuff in it, but yeah. Aluminum. Yeah, Thor, I'm just here to piss everybody off. Not aluminium, not aluminum, aluminum. That way everybody equally goes, ugh, ugh. That's my way of being a diverse, equitable person. It's 2022. It's all about inclusion, so I can just piss everybody off equally. Right? That's how that works. Yeah, that sounded right in my head. Aluminium? No. Aluminum. Aluminum. You guys are saying it wrong. Uh-oh.
Chat, we've now moved into the marketing question portion of the stream. How many of you are here just for space news? Like, literal, like, actual genuine question.
This is this is not a focus group. You have tainted the results.
You're not here for anything else. You're only here for space news. I'm asking.
I'm here for all of it. I just want to see EJ die and MSC shut up.
Listen, Tranquility Base here.
No.
The Eagle has landed.
Oh no, Geeson is here.
Okay.
Madagascar, Gladagaskar,
Sadagaskar, Outagaskar.
Help. Help me. They're being chat.
Okay, anyway, there are enough me's for me to get a good sense of what's going on. I was at, like...
Hey, Brimo.
What?
Can you listen to this, please?
Oh my god, I'm scared. It
Can
says Among Us Burger.
Number
what do you think of this song?
Burger King, but lettuce.
Why?
The last thing you'd want in your Burger King burger is number 15 Burger King, but lettuce. The last thing you'd want in your Burger King
Call
burger
the
is
Bondulance.
Alright.
Strong, no?
Alright. Alright, I'm leaving now. I did my market research for the day. It seems like there's a few of you that are here just for space news, but I don't know if it's enough to make a dent. Yeah, that's all. Okay, bye.
Goodbye. Bum bum boom bum. I knew that would make her go away. I knew it would make her go away.
Burger King, what lettuce? The last thing you'd want in your number 15 Burger King, what lettuce? The last thing you'd want in your Burger King burgers. Number 15 Burger King, what lettuce? The last thing.
Sorry. She literally falls. Space, insane. Yeah, I know. She's a time traveler. It will make us go away too. Das vidanya. Yeah, Brimo's doing the Eric Johnson's Espacio y Rocket review. She's doing the Spanish language. ¿Cómo están, chatters? Spanish EJ News is here. Tonight's top story. The streets run red with Elon memes. Kya! Kya! Anyway, new shots of the wide bay here. Are you wearing that shirt in honor of Pappy getting into the Hall of Fame but not A-Rod? You bet your butt I am, dude. Go Sox. Go Sox. Nobody's taking our freaking city, man. The fact that Pedro was with him when he got accepted, Dev, makes me very happy. I will just tip my cap to Pedro and Big Papi and call them my daddy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, bro? Just tip my cap and call him my daddy. Yeah, Judo, the thing is gigantic, man. It's really, really big. Look at the people. Look at the people up on the hoist up there. Holy crap, man. That thing is a big one. It's designed to build these things. This and those. That's what it's designed to do. So it's going to be bigger than this thing. Go Sox. Pete Rose before A-Rod. Based in MLB pilled. Yep. I'm from Spain. Okay, Gore. ¿Cómo están? When do we get to see Starship with a booster? Judo, sometime in March, dude. FAA's programmatic assessment has to, it should conclude on February 28th. And don't get me wrong, it's not the FAA that's holding SpaceX back. SpaceX's the pad ain't finished, so SpaceX and the FAA most likely got together and said, you know, the FAA said, look, we ain't getting this done by 2022. And SpaceX said, the pad's not finished anyway, whatever. Take your time. The FAA said, okay, we'll go to the 28th. All right, cool. Yeah, there's a header tank right there. Wait a minute. Hold on, back it up. What is that? What is that? Oh, yeah, Judo, when she flies, it's going to be awesome, man. You know, I'm a space shuttle guy through and through. I love the space shuttle. It's my favorite. This thing is picking up where the space shuttle left off. It's going to be everything that the space shuttle should have been. A crane. Yeah. Well, with the curtains. No, not the curtains. The tank behind it, lads. Kind of looks like Mark 1 header tanks. Phil, do you? So, Elon said on Twitter the other day, I'm going to go into paint here. Elon said on Twitter the other day that they're going to put the methane header tank up to the front. So, Starship in the past, like if you look at Starship's nose cone like this, right? Here's your winglings. You draw little winglings there, and then, you know, draw a little, you know, arm, you know. That looks good, coming out of the back of its neck there. No, they had the LOX header tank up here, right? They had the LOX header tank up there, and then there was a pipe that went down the side, right? And then Elon said the other day that they want to put they want to put the liquid methane tank up there as well. Now, why would you do this? Why would you stack the tanks like that? Balls. Guys, what I think we're looking at here is something like this. I literally think that the header tanks are conjoined into one pill-shaped tank, and they're using a common bulkhead. It works down the bottom of Starship. Why wouldn't it work for the top? So, I think that the front of this is literally gonna like have a Falcon 9 second stage size tank shoehorned into it with a common bulkhead. Pasted rockety pilled. Oh, yeah, well, tank pilled because the tanks are pill shaped. That's what I think we're looking at there. I think we're looking at the bottom of it. And you know, the pipe will go out to the side and then down, or go down like this. That would be nuts, dude. Wouldn't that be cool? Make the tank. Well, see that? It looks right. You never know. I think that could be either that or they're making a brewery, and that's a vat, and SpaceX is gonna make beer. I mean, looks about the same size. How does that affect crewed Starship? Well, Yarg, the header tank situation up at the front is why I think SpaceX is not going to use that chomper fairing, because you have header tanks in the way. That's why I've always said for the longest time that they're going to use shuttle payload bay doors or something different, not the chopper fairing. It doesn't make any sense because the fairing would have to cover up the header tanks, right? So if they're using a longer header tank, it also makes sense that they'd shift the payload bay back and make Starship a little longer, which is what we know that they're doing. Elon said that they're doing that. They're going to move the methane tank back up to the front, lengthen Starship a little bit and give it a little bit of a bigger payload bay, and then give it 9 engines instead of 6, right? So I think what we're looking at is a common bulkhead header tank. That's cool, man. These were the Mark 1 header tanks. Let me see.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Boom, boom. Yeah, look at that. Interesting. Firebird, 12-month resub. Hot take. If aliens are coming to invade Earth, they send scouts to kill all the astronomers first, so we cannot see them coming.
Discovery, go at
Don't
throttle
look up. Trojan, hey, 48 months, dude. Thank you very much. Alright, let's back to this footage here. I think that's a common bulkhead header tank. That's really freaking cool. It looks to be about the same diameter as right here. Man, look at the Super Duty compared to these things. Jeez. These are just the sections of that. Look at the truck. The truck's a little tiny truck. That's not a tiny truck, it's a Super Duty. Thing's not small. It's a big frickin' truck.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
NS-19 uncut inside capsule footage. From Dylan Taylor. Yeah, that's cool. We watched this footage the other day, guys. Well, at least parts of it. How the frick would you see this in person? How did you see it in person? Highway 4, Brownsville, Texas. Go to the end of Highway 4 until you can't go no more. You'll see it. It's open to the public, bird. Yeah, Jazos, we saw some of that the other day. Actually, yeah, from Cameron. Meeps, he showed us the footage the other day, which is cool. Aero control surface, housing. What kind of bird? The government kind. Birds don't exist. 62 months from Shank. When is this thing gonna fly? I thought they were aiming for January. The programmatic environmental assessment from the FAA pushed it out to February, but SpaceX's pad also isn't finished. March is what we're looking at right now. Yeah, as far for sure. right. Alright. Is this real life? So insane to see this happening. There's a reason, Judo, why I make sure, as part of Space News, to check in on this every day. Like, every day that I'm streaming, we check in on this. The reason is because I have to pinch myself, and I have to make sure that I didn't dream all this, you know what I mean? Because seeing this thing come together is just... I have to pinch myself every day to make sure that I understand what I'm seeing here. We're seeing literally... You're seeing a rocket being put together right now and tested that is all the best parts of a Saturn V and all the best parts of the space shuttle combined into one, which is... Oh. Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. I just got here. What was the project? We're talking about Starship Moose, that's all. Are you planning to do vids made for YouTube, or are you going to upload the Twitch vids? I don't know, Far. I would like to do more with YouTube. I just really don't have the time. That's the problem. I just don't have the time. I'm here. 10 hours, 10 to 12 hours, 5 days a week. And the other 2 are pretty much devoted to Brimo and the trucks, in that order. Brimo and the automobiles, and then my family, which Brimo, that's first, right? Family, memes. Anyway, yeah, I don't really get much time. Like, if I was going to do YouTube videos, what I don't want to do is just edit my VODs and, you know, edit it and condense it and then put it up on YouTube. You just go scrub through the VODs on YouTube if you want to do that. Like, Drummer will highlight the sections and stuff, right? What I would like to do is, like, dedicated YouTube content, but I'm not exactly sure how to do it. I'm not exactly sure what I would do and if I have the time to do it. I could make time for it, but that would mean less time streaming. So, I don't know. It's something that I've been toying with. I'd like to throw my hat into the ring. Yeah, to do some, like, yeah, the advanced Kerbal tutorials, Magi. Like, that would be perfect. TikTok, I know a couple people that work there, Leop, for what it's worth. I mean, it's TikTok, but I know a couple people that work there. Yeah, maybe Moose. Like, there's a lot of good ideas floating around there, dude, and I've probably thought of a good deal of them. But yeah, all right. I'm looking around, making sure there's not much else here. There's also that. So you play any games off stream? Once again, I don't really have the time. And I know that's a bullcrap excuse. You make time for this kind of stuff. But yeah, it's... I mean, I'm here most of the time, dudes. Go Sox. Anyway. Back to cities? Back to cities? All right. Back to the airport.